the very rare evening episode.
Boom,
The
boom,
very rare evening episode. The boys are back. This is going to be pretty much an episode in real time. You're going to hear it tomorrow. It's going to hit the internet just a day after we recorded it.
Oh,
So this is
mere
about
hours.
yeah, everything we talk about today. I mean, I was going to say like, oh, let's talk about Barbie and Oppenheimer and all that. But even that, we're going to be more relevant, more recent than that.
exactly. I'm in like my Rolling Loud bag right now.
Okay.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay,
Yeah, that's my
that makes
Rolling
sense.
Loud bag. Yeah, that's my
it
young
is-
nudie bag.
Hey. Rolling Loud, we got to talk about that too. No free promo.
No.
This is the 5 on 5 podcast presented to you by directmusicservice.com. Direct Music Service is where you can get all of your edits from everyone. All your favorite editors. Audio One, Danny Diggs, Jason B. So many guys. The list goes on and on and on and on. Drew Pierce, Fuse Mania, Drew and Fuse, those boys.
Country
Promo
edits
code,
too.
Country. We're going to talk about that. I just got back from Nashville, and we're going to talk about that. Promo code 5 on 5 FIVEON FIVE. It's going to save you a nice little grip of money over there off your first month subscription.
If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe, and ding the bell every time we drop a video. I messed up on that one, but it's
Little
okay.
rust. That's fine. 3 years.
Yeah,
that's
who
fine.
cares?
I get one.
Yeah,
Get one.
This is a great episode. I'm so stoked. I'm one of your hosts, Phenom. Down the street from me, Nick Lopez. Down the street from him, Jupiter Williams. And our very special guest today, Nick, I'm going to have you introduce him because you introduced him to me.
All the way from San Francisco. Make some noise for DJ Flow. Are you from San Francisco? Did I just make that up?
I am not from San Francisco.
Did I just make that up?
Well, whenever someone references the Bay, they always think San Francisco. I was in Oakland for most of my kind of DJ, I don't know, growth, but I currently live in Vallejo.
Okay, let me try again.
Yeah,
From the Bay Area.
from the Bay.
From the general Bay Area.
I don't want to give that explanation to every single person. But...
No, that's fine because I know people in the Bay Area are very territorial
Particular.
and particular. Like, yo, he's not from San Francisco.
That is true.
You're from Vallejo.
Shout out everybody.
Shout out to the Bay Area and all of their very specific counties.
Yeah,
man.
Thank you for having me.
Flo, we're stoked to have you here, man.
Yeah. Thank you. I know it's late. I know it's you said you just got back from somewhere,
Yeah, Nashville. I pulled up from Nashville today. We're stoked to have you here, man. We just met you formerly, maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago. Nick, you put me on. So this is how this started. Nick found you on IG through, you have mutuals, right?
Well, we met at the jam. We met at Skills Talk.
Yes, we played Skills Talks together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then you sent Flo's IG to me and you were like, yo, this guy is doing vinyl content how it should be done. It's tasteful. It's not, we see some guys sometimes that are posting like cheese ball vinyl stuff, like real,
or just not well produced.
Well produced, and that's half the battle is making it look cool, know. And then he put me on, and then you were in town, and we all got to do a dig over at Moondog.
Yeah.
And then I saw you a couple nights or a night later or something like that. We got to hang out with your homie.
Yeah.
And you have an incredible story about how you ended up on the Usher tour after parties. This is some shit.
Yeah. We need to hear.
This whole thing is so funny because we met right before all that shit went down.
Yeah.
Literally playing a B-boy jam together. Me, you, and shout out to Megatone.
Yeah.
And then this shit just kind of happened right afterwards.
Yeah. And
so like our circles immediately fused.
But it was a trip because you had met. I had looked you up after I met you, and then I seen you was on Mac Agency, and then I just had to, look around and see what was kind of going on in your scene out there, and I was like, "Yo, this dude's on a crazy ass agency," And so I've even reached out to you like, oh, what's up? You know,
And
that's
you're like,
dope
yo,
that
you're on the
trying to-"
agency. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah.
remember. And I was
And
like, yeah,
then
I'm on. And then literally not even, it had to have been a month at the
I know it was
most.
crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, I ended up out there, met you guys for that, and I've been there one other time after that, but
Yeah.
I've been following you guys since. I feel like I know you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
We've
Yeah,
definitely
shout
been
out.
wins since. It's so funny.
Yeah, we unlocked a new character for you today, Travis. So you'll know him.
Good to meet you, bro.
Yeah,
quite
nice to
well.
meet
I know
too,
you
my
too,
guy.
though. I listen to the pod. I'm a fan of the pod, so
We
I'm happy to be
appreciate
here. I'm
that,
honored to
man.
be here.
Well,
We
we're a fan of
appreciate
you,
that.
my guy.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
such an interesting roundabout to get us here, though, and I want you to explain to people your last 6 months, your year this year is not real life, right? It's safe to say that.
Yeah,
We're like on another planet right now.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I'm just trying to like make sure that I'm kind of in the moment, I guess, and just kind of make sure that I stay on top of everything, but stuff moves pretty fast. Like it's pretty crazy.
Hmm. Okay. Well, so let's take us back to the genesis here. You started posting records online.
Yeah. So this I guess we'll just go back to the beginning of the pandemic, right? So, I've been DJing 20 years, been on Instagram, been on social media for, what is that, like in the 2000 early 2010s, I guess, like 2012. I don't even know when the whole social media thing kind of started and popped off.
Hmm.
But for pretty much up until the pandemic, I was always teetering around like 2,000, 3,000, maybe even got to 4,000 at one point. But it was just the same kind of content. I was just kind of throwing stuff out there, flyers, the normal thing. You know what I mean? I'm not even really a social media person like that. Like I don't even like putting myself out there.
Mm.
And so the pandemic hits. There's all these things happening. Like everyone's talking about TikTok. Everyone's talking about influencers, and everyone's talking. You know what I mean? There's just all these
Right.
things happening. And I'm actually in marketing, so I have a job in marketing. I work for a company, and so basically what happened was like, it's kind of scary when the pandemic hits. You're like,
Mhm.
okay, well, where's everyone's attention? What's everyone doing? So I almost had to force myself to really try to understand what was going on with social media and everything, where people's attention was. And it was crazy because there's this real you started seeing people blow up. I even had some content creator friends that were just like doing numbers, and they started getting brand deals, and they started doing a bunch of business directly from their accounts, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm like, damn, like this dude's you know what I mean? He's just a single person making content, and I'm over here working for a company. It's like, how, like, there's a disconnect between like, the boardroom tables and the content creators in their bedrooms. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm.
And so, I had to figure it out because it's just like for the sake of my job, for the sake of, you know what I mean? Just
Mhm.
like,
Right.
and we're stuck at home. And so I jumped on TikTok, and I just started to try to figure out what everyone was doing. I started paying attention more, and I'm like, well, let me just test out my understanding of what's going on with my DJ content, because it's what I am passionate about. It's what, I mean, I got so many records that I don't have nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And so I just jumped in and started figuring out ways to share records. And then I came up with this concept of looping records, making loops.
Mm.
And so I have
Mhm.
this series called loops that you could listen to over and over, right? That was the hook, right? Because they always talk about, I don't know if you guys watch any of that early,
Yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
content creator, like, oh, this is how you trick the algorithm. You gotta make your hook come first in the first one set. You know what I mean? Like all that
yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah.
And so, as much as it's all kind of like, it gets
So
kind of
cliche
repetitive,
now.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
like they were really onto something, right? I mean, there was really
100%.
a formula that was being like, figured out and created. And so in my head, I'm just like, okay, there's people doing that stuff. There's people doing these lists, right? People are like, there's guys just like, oh, songs that you didn't know that were made in 2000, right? And then they're pointing to the record cover,
Or the early
not even the
TikTok
record
stuff,
cover. It's
yeah.
yeah, it's
Right.
just like a
Yeah.
little picture of the thing, and then he's just like dancing to the song, right? I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, but it's working for him. You know what I mean?
Who
He's
did that the
getting- he's-
best? Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson did that the best with
He
his
did that?
yeah, with his guitar. He said, "We care a lot."
Oh yeah.
Remember that
I
one?
forgot, yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about
He
that.
got
That's funny.
roasted for that one. You remember that?
I remember this. Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
remember.
He's
that
like
one.
pointing with his phone.
It was so silly. It was nonsensical.
Oh, early TikTok was great.
It
Yeah.
worked though. It worked for,
But he has a
for
word.
like in the early
It
stages.
was. It
like,
was.
great.
It was working
Yeah.
for people. You know what I mean? It's just that I didn't want to like do that, right?
Yeah, of course. yeah.
And
Mhm.
so then, obviously I'm into samples and stuff. I'm a hip hop DJ. I come from the hip hop kind of, realm. And that's kind of how I led me to collecting all these records was through samples and stuff, right? So anyways, I basically was just like, look, let me try to, if I could get a perfect loop going, I'm
Mhm.
basically checking all the boxes that all these people are talking about. Short 7-second clips,
Yeah.
stuff that's that you don't know when it ends. It just keeps
Mhm.
going, right? You know how
Mhm.
sometimes people like cooking content is like the perfect example, right? It's like you watch a recipe, you're like, oh shit, and you just like keep watching it
Because they
and then it
always
plays
end on like a
four
Yeah.
times
and
before
then
you-
or
Yeah.
yeah.
I watched
it
that
plays-
shit so many times
Yeah,
before I realize I'm
exactly.
caught in a loop. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Watch this 3 times.
Exactly.
man's diced 10
exactly.
onions. What am I doing here?
Yeah, and you just keep watching it, and then you save it, and then you watch
Yeah.
it again later, and then
Yeah,
you try to
yeah.
cook it, and you like pause it and watch it like 50 more times, right?
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah,
just took-
you're killing that. That like that algorithm, the loop
exactly
is genius way because it's like you're not being tacky and you're not being like because some of those I feel like they're sneaky and they're tricking you into
Mhm.
listening
Yes,
to the loop.
yes, yeah,
Where
yeah.
as a person watching your video, it's like I want to see how the loop hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Like you're anticipating the loop, and you're not being tricked into listening to the
Yeah,
loop. You
yeah.
want the loop.
and I
Yeah.
tell you that's what it is. It's a loop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm hitting you with the hook. I'm hitting you with the loop, and then people read the comments because then they're like, "Oh shit, I know this, right?" It's like,
Yeah.
Right.
oh, this is a Tupac sample, or you know what I mean? And then people are like commenting different stuff, and then sometimes like there'll be a sample that like got multiple, right? Like if I just put I put up Isaac Hayes one or something, right? And then it's
Mhm.
obviously there's like Mary J, there's like all these people, right? And so everyone is like determined to let you know that they know where that sample is, and so there's all this like engagement in the comments. So basically this content became super rich and just like it fed the algorithm and it led me to people that wanted to hear what I was playing, you know what I mean, the type of
Mm.
records that I collect. And so by finding that, I just was dropping loops like constantly. Like first it started on TikTok. I was dropping like 3 a day. I read this thing like, oh, drop three posts a day, right? So I was like, whatever, I'll just do it. I'm at home, right?
Mm.
I'm like, it's during the pandemic, you know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I just had a daughter, so at the time she was a
Congrats.
baby, so we're just like on the clock, like sleeping, waking up, just kind of like, you know what I mean, waiting for her to
Right.
sleep again. So it just like it was this perfect storm of just like I needed to figure out what was going on marketing wise. I had all these records. I had this new space because I built out this, this little shed for myself to be
Mhm.
able to like put all my stuff in.
Mm.
And so then all that came together to me just like sharing records, and then I was just riding the wave, and so then the numbers just started hitting, and then I went from TikTok to Instagram because I was able to basically what's it called, schedule stuff on Instagram, right?
Mhm.
So it's easier for me to get the content out and without, you know what I mean, just kind of like autopilot.
Right.
Mm.
And then Instagram started going up, and then that was it, man. 3,000 to now I'm at like 147, I think.
Over the course of how long of a time span?
I would say less than a year, maybe like 9 months.
Dang.
Nuts.
It's such a substantial growth so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're And it's funny because you started on TikTok, but your Instagram numbers are way
Mhm.
bigger.
Yeah. So when I found out that that it actually hit on Instagram also,
Yeah.
it was just like, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just run with this because
Yeah.
the thing about TikTok, it was a little bit more like a manual. Like I
Okay.
had to
Yeah.
because they started to get hip to the copyright stuff,
Mhm.
and so I couldn't just time it because you have to tag a song, even if it's not the song that's playing. You
Yep.
have to tag it, and then you have to duck down the audio.
Right.
That
Mhm.
way, it doesn't
Flag
flag you
you.
for copyright.
Right.
So the fact that it was so manual, I was just like, I don't have. My daughter started getting older. You know what I'm saying? So I went back to the office. You know what I'm saying? I was just like,
Yeah.
shit. It's just like, yo, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
do this
there's a
3
lot of
times a
like
day. You know?
there's a
Yeah.
couple extra steps in the process.
Exactly. And
Wh-
so I mean, TikTok, I don't go on it as much anymore, but
Mhm.
um, you know, there's probably a lane for something on there, you know what I'm
Of
saying? But
course.
I still got like 40 on there, but you really have to be active on the algorithm to get into people's timelines. So
Right.
it's just one of those things where Instagram was hidden for me, and it's kind of more my space anyway. That's kind of where I kind of understood the ecosystem, I guess you could
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I just started cultivating that, and you know, that was a long drawn out kind of explanation, but what that led to is basically getting on the timelines of some pretty big names, including Usher. And
Mhm.
so early last year, this wasn't even when my numbers were high. I think I was hitting like 10 to 20,000 at the point.
Mm.
And I got a follow from Usher, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Say the
and then I
least.
looked at his, I was like, is this real? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I had just been like, I think he commented, he actually DM'd me, and he just said like, oh man, your collection. It was just one of those things where he just kind of gave me props for my records and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, that was cool, whatever. I didn't think nothing of it, just took it as a win, like,
That's a
okay,
dub.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
pretty cool. And then a couple months later, like a lot of months later, just kind of, didn't think nothing of it. And then all of a sudden, I think he posted, how you post those, like, Technicolor puts up those like highlight
Like those
reels.
highlight
Yeah,
reels.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Of one of the parties and stuff.
Mhm.
And I had just been like, you just comment on someone's story, like you don't even think nothing of it. You're just kind of like you hit the
Yeah,
fire
you
or
hit the
whatever.
fire emoji.
And so I was just like, all these parties look crazy, it would be dope to play one day, right? I just kind of threw it out there. I might have been
Throw it
like
out
taking
there.
a
Yep.
shit or something, right? Like, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, I look at my phone, and then he's like, "Come on, let's do it." And I was just kind of like, "Oh shit, I forgot." Like he follows me, and he gets my D. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it
Right.
goes to the primary, right?
Yeah.
And so I was
Of
just
course,
like,
Usher checks his messages. Boy, it's got to be a
I coulda
circus
just
in
got
there.
I could have just got lucky. He could have been taking the shit too, right? Like, you know what I mean? So he was just like, "Come on," and then I was like, let's do it, And then I had, at that point, I had been paying attention to what was going on in Vegas after I talked to Neat,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Yo, tell Mac Agency to holler at me." You know what I'm saying? And then this was like maybe like March or something like that. And so then someone from his team hit me first. And then I was like, okay, let's see if this is real. I still didn't think it was real. It was just kind of
It's a little too
like,
casual.
yeah, exactly.
My friend
Like,
Usher.
Let's keep in mind this happened on Instagram, so it's still like this doesn't feel very
Like,
official.
Is this really the guy? You know what I mean? Is he really on the other side of this? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So then a dude hits me. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, right? So then I talked to a producer from his team, and I get on the phone with him, and he kind of sounds like I don't even know if you guys asked me all these, but I guess I'm just
No,
gonna
that's
tell the
100% yes.
story.
This is it. Yes.
we're like, no, actually, we.
And so dude from his team calls me, and then I'm just like, okay, let me get on the phone with him. Let me see what he's talking about. It could just be like, oh, hey, call this guy. Usher said to call this guy. Maybe he's just doing his due diligence to make sure that he didn't just not do it, right?
Right.
So I call him, I talk to him, and I'm like, okay, you know, he sound like he don't even know what I'm talking, who I am, or what you know what I mean, like what I'm talking about. Like, oh yeah, you talk to Usher on like Instagram, like that's what he was basically saying to me, like, oh, we were supposed to call you, and I'm just like, yeah, I was talking to him. He said that he was down to bring me out. I don't know. I didn't even know.
Yeah, you don't even
Like,
know
I
what
didn't
to
even know
say.
Like, I don't know. You called me, right? Like, I don't...
Hello, is this Chris? Hello? Yes. What do you want? What?
So
You
he
called
was just
me.
like, he was like, yeah. So do you think you could come out? And then I was just like, well, when is it? Like, what? I don't know. Like, what?
So open ended. Just like,
Yeah.
So are
And then
you
I was-
down?
hypothetically, are you locked in? Are you in?
Are
the
you in or are
ground,
you out? Is
Yeah.
what we want to know.
Mobile? Can you
Exactly.
walk?
And so then I'm just like, yeah, just throw me some dates. Like, what? You know what I mean? What do you want to do? And he's just like, here, let's do this. If you are available, we'll look into the dates. Email me whatever your rates are, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just whatever, right? And so I'm like, okay, cool, right?
Sick.
Back to square
then I-
one.
Exactly. So I get off the phone, I'm like, whatever, I'll just email him what, you know, I just threw some stuff at him. Don't hear back for maybe like 2-3 weeks. And then he hits me back and he's like, okay, here, you know, it looks like we could do, you know, we could probably do this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it was like he kind of looked into it. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's kind of real, right? We'll see. And then he's like, all right, we'll give you a call back. And
This
I'm
is
just
so
like,
blasé.
Yeah.
This is so
Yeah.
fucking blasé where it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do you think? And you're like, no, like here's the dates. He's like,
yeah.
well, those are dates, aren't they? All right, you fucking Riddler. Let me answer these questions 3.
That's exactly how it was, bro. And so then I was just kind of like, all right, dude. So, you know, it felt like another blow off, right?
Right.
And so then I get a DM from the Mac agency, you know, thing a couple weeks later. So this is all happening like within like where I'm just kind of like, whatever, I forgot about it kind of deal. Like I'm not even.
Yeah,
gonna
it's not
think-
happening
Yeah,
back to back to
exactly.
back.
Right.
And so then the Mac agency, you know, account DMs me and is like, yo, is it cool if we get on the call? And so I'm just like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's another step of making it kind of more real, right? And so, you know, that doesn't even get locked in until maybe like 2 weeks, right? And then all of a sudden I get another DM like, oh, can we do Wednesday? And it ends up being Eddie on the other side of that.
Shout out.
Great.
Yeah.
Shout out Eddie Mac.
Shout out Eddie, man. And so I got on the phone with Eddie. And so I'm like, all right, this is kind of cool. But at the same time, I got all nervous. I'm like, you know, what if, you know, he's probably like, you know, who is this guy? Like he found him on IG. Like, you know, is he gonna think that I'm just like some vinyl dude? Like, I don't know. I don't have like content of me DJing a lot. You know, it's a lot of just records. So what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So I got my whole spiel ready. I'm like, oh, I gotta get his, you know what I mean? I just didn't know what to expect to get on the phone with him, right? So I get on the phone with him and he's actually hella cool. And he's just like, oh yeah, I looked at your thing. It looks like we're on the same page, blah, blah. He's like, all right, here's some dates. Maybe we could lock you in. And then so let me give you a call back. And so, then I'm
Again,
just- so I
yeah.
got another one
Damn.
of them, right? And so then I finally look up Eddie, like I do more research on Eddie, and I'm just like, oh shit, this was all like DJing with like Anderson .Paak, and they're doing like their run with Coachella and all this other stuff. And so I'm like, oh man, this dude's hella busy. Like, you know, the fact that he even called me was cool. And I got to this point, but I really didn't want to get too, you know what I mean, excited or like tell anybody, you know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah.
just like,
Right.
what if it ain't real, you know?
Right.
And it could at this point, it could even be just like he's busy, right? Because I don't know how Vegas works, and obviously he's busy. I see him busy, right?
Right.
And so, not until 2 weeks before the date that he gave me did I actually get officially locked in. And so 2 weeks before the first Usher weekend that I went out there, I finally got the okay to like be like,
Mhm.
all right, it's real. You know what I'm saying? So
2 months later.
yeah, it was like 2 months later from the time that I
From the
like
initial.
From
Okay.
your can I would love to play this.
yeah. What do you mean?
That's no, I'm saying that from that
Yeah.
initial comment. hope I can play it sometime.
Oh no, that was like 4 months later. So this was
Okay.
like March to when did I go there? Like May, March, April, May. It's like 3 months. 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's
in the moment.
short.
It's like, oh my god, this is taking forever.
Right.
Everybody's hitting me with the like, yeah, let's do it. We'll get back to you and send you some dates. And you're like,
Yeah.
why the fuck would you get back to me? Like,
Right.
let's do this now. There's no
Yeah.
reason for you to get back to me. Like,
Yeah.
let's just
Mhm.
handle this.
Yeah.
Right.
You work with Usher. You have way more things than
Mhm.
booking some DJ for
Yeah.
his after party
Yeah.
Yeah.
or talking to Eddie. You're
Yeah.
touring with
Yeah.
Anderson Paak. Like,
Yeah.
why would you call me? You have a whole ass agency of DJs. You
Yeah.
have no reason to call me.
Right.
And so
You
it
got
finally,
Neek, you got Phenom too.
yeah, like you got these superstars, superstar podcasters.
These extreme, like the likes of Anderson Paak, Nick Lopez, Phenom.
Yeah.
Those kind
Usher,
of caliber.
Anderson Paak, Nick Lopez, Phenom.
That we're only dealing with that caliber.
Only
here.
the cream of the crop.
We'll get back to you.
Talking
Gotta go. The house is on fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, when you think about it, 3 months from leaving a comment on an Instagram post to actually being there is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And after talking to you guys and kind of like being out there that first time and just kind of working through being nervous and just not really knowing, how you get into those spaces where you're
Of
just like
course.
something that's unfamiliar, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You kind of
Mhm.
don't know how to read the room, you don't know how to
Mhm.
like read the scene, like am I, you know what I mean? Am I
Mhm.
welcome out here? Are people cool? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I just didn't know. And what was the trip was I had this whole notion that like because I seen you guys you did Paradise Disco, right? Or what is
Yep,
that what it's
Paradise
Paradise
called?
Fever.
Fever Disco.
Paradise Fever Disco in the vinyl parlor, right?
Yep.
It's called the vinyl parlor. I've seen people playing vinyl in there, obviously.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, if Usher found me for my vinyl collection, it only makes sense that I bring vinyl, right?
Oh, you're not
And
wrong
so-
in this
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But keep
so-
going because it's
so I did that, right? So the 2 weeks up until going and finally knowing that I was gonna be there, I was just like, all right, dude. Like I just started tweaking out on just like, all right, what am I
Yeah.
gonna bring? What am I not gonna bring? What could I really play in this room? Like I didn't even know what it was gonna be, you know what I'm saying? And so I ended up bringing a gang of 45s and like a big old case of 12s. The first night I went out there was like a Wednesday, which I guess is like their industry night or whatever
Mhm.
on
Yep.
the record. And so that first night I played all vinyl, 4 hours, just boom.
fire.
And but then I found out like, man, like this is more of an R&B crowd. Like I got lucky because I got some aunties up in there and some like, you know what I mean? Some old school folks that was just down to rock with me. You know what I'm saying? I still made it happen in there, but it was a little bit more stressful than I felt like it was necessary. You know what I mean? Than it was
Mhm.
Right.
necessary.
Mhm.
And so then I came back that Friday and Saturday and I was just like, yo, I'm just bringing out my laptop. I'm just leaving my records in the hotel. And so those nights I just rocked R&B, still kind of the same vibe, but a little bit more
You have a little
free
more
to-
options.
exactly to just jump into the different R&B stuff. I could play newer stuff, I could play whatever, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
just kind of adjust. And then I ended up meeting B Cox and he took over those nights and towards the end and stuff. But
Wait a minute. Did he brought his own stuff? His own computer and whatnot?
yeah,
did he rock on
exactly.
yours?
So no, he brought his own stuff. So
Okay. I had to check.
and I
Had to
didn't even
check.
know that happens either. I was like, okay, like B Cox, cool. Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh yeah. They didn't give you a heads
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
No
It's
heads up on that
crazy
one.
when B Cox shows up. Shout out to B Cox because he's a
Yeah.
really cool dude. He will borrow your needles or your charger sometimes though.
Yo, that did happen with a DJ last time I was there. I was kind of irritated, but I was like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm just
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel so jaded because I wanted to go home.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, my job's done. I'll stay around,
Yeah.
shake hands, and be out of here in 30 minutes to an hour.
And let me
And
hold
I'm
that.
like, oh, he's using my needles.
Yeah.
Let me hold these
Yeah.
needles.
Oh, so
I
good.
teed myself up. I saw AP was on after me. The slip mats were there. The needles were there. I was like, well, that's my last record. I'm going to be in the crowd dancing. And I put all my shit away, put it to the side. And I was like, damn, I got to get back through all these people to grab these records. I'm here anyways.
Yeah.
I'm stuck for the night, man. And,
Oh, yeah. Getting out with a crate of records is The
Yeah.
Oh,
worst.
nah.
me,
This one,
excuse
this
me.
this one night, I actually just left the crate underneath, and I just I hit up what's the sound guy's name again? He's hella cool.
Ross.
Russ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Shout out
Ross.
Ross.
I texted Ross. I was like, "Yo, dude, I kind of need to leave a box there. It's underneath the booth. You know, I don't want to tell nobody, but can you just make sure that it's cool by the end of the night and just shoot me a text before I fall asleep
Said
or
no problem. Check
before you leave,
Discogs.
right?"
Check Discogs in the morning. No problem.
Yo, he was cool, but then when I was falling asleep, I was like, "Did I put too much trust in that guy?" And so I woke up at like 2:30. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I fell asleep. I was like, "Yo, I'm tired." At 3 o'clock, I was like, "Yo, did the records get underneath the thing?" And he didn't text me back. I was like, "Oh shoot." But he ended up being cool. Like he was just like,
Ross
"My
is the
bad."
man.
Yeah,
Ross
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
absolutely the man. But I could see. So have you ever DJ'd? I mean, obviously, aside from like b-boy jams and stuff, and I
Yeah.
do want to get into that kind of talk with you.
Yeah.
I think that stuff is interesting and doesn't
Mhm.
get talked about enough in DJing.
Yeah.
But did you DJ in Vegas prior to that?
I did not know that was my first time being out there.
So, I mean, obviously now we've all done it, but not being from Vegas and thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to play an Usher after party in Vegas." What are your thoughts? Like, what are the feelings you have going into this?
Oh, like when I first came.
First one.
When I first came, I was super nervous because I didn't know what was going. You know what I mean? Like I started looking at all the other DJs that played on the lineup. You know, in previous runs, previous dates. Just trying to get any intel. You know, listening to, I listened to the Road podcast, so a lot of their stuff kind of gave me some intel. But I didn't know what to expect. I was just trying to be prepared for anything. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just like prepped a bunch of crates, did both digital and on my on vinyl. Just over preparing, and I didn't realize that coming out here and just even talking to you guys, just there's a big difference from kind of like the Bay culture in terms of DJing.
Right.
You guys be doing marathon sets. Like
Yeah.
it seems like 4 hours is like normal, 4
Yeah,
hours
it's nothing.
minimum, right?
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's
Gotta
kind of
be
the
ready.
that's the typical.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like the first night, I feel like I learned that there's no warm up, right? Like you're not supposed to. You're not like over here. I mean, it somewhat is if they're depending on how the room fills up.
Right.
But once there's people in the room, it's like, yo, keep that in it. You know what I mean?
Going.
Keep it. And
Yeah.
it don't
You're
need to
your
be
own
like,
opener,
obviously in
yeah.
that smaller vinyl room, you kind of figure out that like it's when you look at the context of the venue, you kind of know that, okay, this is
This
a
room's
more
special.
exactly. And so you got to kind of keep that into consideration, but you also need to make them like want to be in there, have a good time, sing the words to songs, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a warm up in the sense where you could just like play chill music up until like, like in the Bay, I do a residency in Oakland, and like 9 to like 10:30, I'm just running like new music, old, throwbacks, just kind of like letting people be at the bar drinking, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I think that's kind of where there was an adjustment for me to really just like, oh damn, I gotta like get up there, you know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
someone even mentioned it to me, like one of the bartenders, like, oh, like that was a good set. He was like, but in the beginning we were just kind of, it was a little bit slow, and so I'm like, oh damn. But
Yeah, I hate that. I hate when that
Yeah.
happens. But it's helpful, and they'll
Yeah.
definitely like give you a pointer. Like if you're gonna be here again, just know that like
yeah,
the window of opening is
Mhm.
smaller. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was my first night, so the fact that I got that feedback that early, just kind of like, okay, good. I'm kind of glad they just like even told
Felt
me
the need to
anything,
tell
right?
you,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Mhm.
but yeah, that's kind of how I was going into it, and just that's kind of what I learned is just like, yo, you got to be prepared to just rock for 4+ hours,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. And I remember we talked because you were asking me like, what records should I bring? What kind of stuff should I bring? And I
Yeah.
was like, well, the two after parties are very different.
hmm
The Usher ones and the Silk Sonic ones
Silk
are very
Sonic, yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So the Silk Sonic ones are actually, ironically, where the vinyl is played because
Mhm.
Andy ends up playing records. So it makes sense. But when Usher's in town, we play digital.
Mhm.
And I think it's just because you're going for, more R&B
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
stuff like that. And that's the other thing is you never really know what time, if are you opening for someone? Is somebody going to take over? Like you said, they didn't tell you B Cox coming because
Yeah.
that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes
Sometimes
Hey,
you're
when B Cox is there, you don't know that B Cox is there, right?
you might know the day of.
You might know the
Yeah.
day of. So
Yeah.
are you worried about songs that you're playing?
See, that's the tricky part. Colin can talk about this too because we get told like somebody's going to show up
Yeah.
and
Right.
they might not. Like
Yeah.
And so you're kind of playing.
I was told Mars was going to show up, Usher's DJ.
Okay.
And they're like, yo, like, because when we get the breakdown for the night, it is the whole night. They're like, here you are. Unless somebody texts you something, it's business as usual. 5 hours, 10 to 3, and then you're out of there. You know, I treated it a little different because it's the Usher after party. If Usher's going to do a walkthrough, I don't want to play until his feet are tap dancing across the floor. You know, I'm not going to burn myself. And so they were like, hey, Ross told me, he's like, we got Usher's DJ Mars coming through tonight as I'm setting up. And I was like, perfect. I'm done at midnight. Mars is going to hop on. And they're like, you may have to play a little bit after, but Mars will hop on at midnight. I was like, great. Midnight comes around. I leave a lot of leg room in the seats. A lot of leg room. You got plenty of room to stretch your legs as your Usher's DJ. I haven't played any Usher, I don't think. Maybe Bad Girl or maybe My Way or something like that. Early. Welcome to the Usher after party. Everybody having a good time tonight. Make some noise.
Between at 10:30, so you can play it again.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Yeah.
Those people aren't even here anymore.
Yeah.
1 a.m. comes by.
Are you're talking? This is on the patio or in the vinyl?
It's on the patio.
Patio. Okay.
1 a.m. comes by, and I'm still rocking and rolling. and I'm that sweat emoji, the smiling, laughing sweat emoji, where I was like, we got plenty of leg room. There's plenty of leg room still. Usher, you have so many songs for your DJ if you want to come through and do a walkthrough. I don't even think I played Caught Up at that point.
Oh, no.
I think you got plenty of room.
Little less than an hour ago, but still plenty.
Yeah. You know, the Travis Porter is off the table now, but that's neither here nor there. You're not going to play that. 1:30 comes by, and big security guy comes up. Usher's security goes, Usher's going to be coming back here, I think. And I said, perfect. In my mind, I'm like, his DJ's going to be here. So this is great. I've started to burn myself at this point, waiting around for this guy because, you know, the leg room's getting a little bit more snug in the car here. And
it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. You can't keep opening the night. Like you gotta play.
Welcome to the Usher after party, everybody. Make some noise.
I did a double opener. You know, it was like, man, how many DJs we got tonight? And it was all versions of me. Me playing as me, like different versions of me, you know? And then, 2 o'clock comes by and I was like, nah, we're opening the lid off. Boop, 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 boop. And I was like, yo, he's not coming. I took the lid off and everybody was roaring. But man, it's an interesting position when you burn yourself. And that happened to me opening for Madlib too. Madlib's flight was delayed. He got in. It was just me and Madlib on the lineup. And so I was like, cool, I'm going to play 2 hours. I'm going to give him hell for 2 hours. It's just me playing and then it's Madlib playing. So somebody comes out on stage and they're like, hey, you know, my set was almost done. And they're like, Madlib's at the airport. And I was like, this is perfect. And they're like, Madlib's leaving now to get on the flight.
For visual reference for everybody. When that person came on stage, Did they have to walk all the way across the stage to you?
Long walk. Long walk. Long walk.
But he said,
So me, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, we got Madlib in the building, and because I'm like, like we're doing this, we're rocking, we're rolling. It's sold out. I got to keep them hyped for 45 more minutes. So that's like a 45 more minute kind of thing. And they're like, no, he's leaving from Chicago or wherever he was at.
Oh.
So I was like, how many?
how far away is Chicago? How long is a flight from Chicago to?
How far away are we from Chicago?
So
Portland.
I was in Bloomington. Indiana.
Oh God.
So that's about a hot hour 30.
Hour 30 for sure.
Just in the air.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
Like
The
40
trip.
minutes in the air, and then 45 by car.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had burned myself so badly because what I did was I set my parameters for my set where I was like, these are all the songs I'm going to play from my set list. I downloaded a bunch of stuff. It's going to be this song. I built out a set list, essentially.
Oh, you
Because
finished the set. Okay.
You're playing for Madlib's crowd.
Yeah.
You're not just playing for like a run-of-the-mill, hey, we got LMFAO in the building tonight.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
it's like we have everyone that listens to everything, and they're going to be on your head for every single song.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
looking
it.
at the set list, and I'm like, I don't have an hour and a half left. Because
That's tough to play a Madlib show because you're like, okay, off rip, Stone's Throw songs are out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm playing for an underground crowd, but I can't play any Stone's Throw records.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who
And then it's
doesn't
like,
want to see me? Let's be honest.
Right.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
going to be completely honest with you. There's no one coming on that stage that you want to see besides Madlib.
Of
Mhm.
course.
Mhm.
I don't blame you. Like, I
So now
can't
how
fault you for that.
do you keep it entertaining without burning it? Because you can't play like any Stone's Throw anthems because you're just gonna assume he's gonna play them.
and
Right.
you can't really go like a Madlib fan does not necessarily want to hear like a full on like
Rap set.
native tongue set, do
Right.
they? I don't know. I'm just
I'm thinking, what's the hype of
you
it? Do
can't
we
play a
want to
bunch
hear
of Tribe, right? Like
Tribe and Far Side and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all these?
is
No.
that too
Is it too rappy,
easy
or
for
should
them?
we
Yeah,
start-
Yeah.
Should I start playing Fela Kuti? Like, what do I
Right.
do?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like what
Yeah.
what did you play? I'm just curious.
I played a lot more of like the Hudson Mohawk type stuff, like
Oh, okay.
the interesting newer trap.
Okay.
Because I was like, he's going to handle all of this shit that you
Yeah,
want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I come at you with cool beats, with interesting sounds, with weird melodies and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you right there anyways.
Got it.
So like
That's fair,
RJ
especially
DJ
if
type stuff and that kind of vibe.
Got
That
it.
makes
got it.
And that's kind of hard. You can't really. I'm sorry. Can't really blame yourself on burning yourself because that's a very specific pocket to stay
Yeah.
in.
Right, right.
That's very
And
hard, bro.
If you burn yourself, shit, fuck it. You burn yourself.
You're
in
like,
that
yo,
one,
all right,
man.
we're
Like, that's-
doing. That's when I start doing the native tongue thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
we
Got
got
extra
extra
time,
time.
we're-
Backpack. Like, if y'all don't know
93
this shit-
till.
Yeah. By the time he went on, I had exhausted my brain and
Yeah.
all of my possibilities.
Yeah.
Oh man,
And it
that's
was a sold
another
out
kind of-
theater. It was
Yeah.
like a theater with seats.
Oh my god, that's
So-
another kind
What
of.
are you doing?
stress
Just
right
playing
there.
loops?
Just loop the song.
Loops you can listen to over and
walk
over.
around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, hey, y'all know
Ding,
who I
ding,
am on
ding.
Instagram?
Yeah.
So
My friend Usher actually
Yeah.
likes this one.
I'm about to run these loops.
that is funny.
It's
So
daunting, man.
it's daunting. Like, it's especially like, I don't know. These after parties are very tricky,
Mhm.
especially because you're dealing with essentially like celebrities and their
Mm-hmm.
schedules. Like,
Yeah,
and celebrities, DJs. If they don't show up, why the hell would the DJ show up?
Mhm.
Right,
You know, if Usher's not there, Mars doesn't need to be there or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's no
Right.
point.
right.
So it's one of those things where you just have to come prepared to play the whole night.
yeah,
Even if they tell you you're not playing the whole night.
Mhm.
for sure.
Totally.
And you don't know if they're gonna close the night. Like, are they taking? And most of the times they do. Like they took over for the night, they're staying till close,
Yeah.
or are they going to take off and you have to take over? You just kind of have to be on standby.
It's just weird DJing on standby
It
because
is.
we're not used to giving 50% in hopes of the other 50%.
Yeah.
Like,
And then we're used to telling the story too, so it's like
Yeah.
Right.
you're about to tell an unfinished story. Like
Yeah.
you're telling the wrong story.
There's gonna be a
You're telling
cliffhanger.
the wrong story.
There's gonna be a cliffhanger. There's gonna be no season 2 either.
A double
It's-
feature,
yeah.
2 different movies, and you're only getting half.
Yeah.
Guess which half? Yeah. The crowd's
Which half? I don't know.
He's the opener, but he might be the headliner too, and I don't really know what the story is here. Because you're wearing 2 masks. You're Jekyll and
Yeah.
Hyde. You're good cop, bad cop on that set, and you're
Yeah.
like, the last thing I want to do, we're all pros here. We don't want to burn somebody, but I also got to keep you around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to keep you around in preparation for you don't show up.
Mhm.
So what's that in between song sound?
And
like?
also, like for if they do show up, like you don't want to give them an empty room.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, or give them a room with a vibe that's not right. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you want them to come in like, oh yeah, this is dope, and they feed off of that, right?
Right.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, like you could literally, for me, I want to set you up with like any path you want to go down.
Yeah, yeah,
You're good to go. New shit, throwback shit,
Right,
funk,
right.
disco. Like I've left it. I put it all on the table.
yeah.
I've left the very entry level versions of all these
Yeah,
genres. You could just take over wherever you want, and nobody
Yeah.
will be caught off guard.
Right. I can think of 300 headliner peak of the night songs, and I can think of 300 opening the night songs, but I can't give you off the top of my head more than 50 in between songs
Mm.
that are really going to rile you up, but not going to step on
Mhm.
toes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That truly is the
Who makes
art.
in between music? Like, I kind of want this to chart. I don't all the way want this to
Yeah.
chart.
Well, in
I
between,
want this to hit the 20. This is a good top 20 song.
Yeah.
We're at a good like 75%. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Somewhere
damn.
in the 15 to 20 range is right where I want this song to hit.
And
You know what's
depending
crazy
the
though?
room,
We
yeah.
like if you think about it though, we're like we're thinking about it because we're thinking about the art of DJing and like getting the room right and stuff.
Right.
But it's funny when these dudes get on, they'll just play they'll play
Whatever.
something you could even have played it like 3 songs ago. They weren't even in the room, and
Yeah.
they don't even give a fuck.
And they
That
don't
shit's
care.
so frustrating too.
And honestly, the new crowd that came with them because they're the new DJ ends up not caring either. So you kind
That's
of
just so frustrating.
Right.
That's when I go back and I call and I'll be able to like, yo, do I have to dumb down my set, bro?
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
and man, that
Yeah.
existential crisis is a whole episode because
Yeah.
Good God, bro.
It's
For sure.
it's telling. Here's the big tell. 4 people can go up there and play the same set, and they could land 4 different ways.
Yep.
Mhm.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Fucked up. It's
Fucked up.
fucking weird.
It's
Yeah.
weird. So weird.
It's the
It's hard to
psychology
give
of
advice.
music.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to give advice. How many times have you looked through somebody else's like history or listened to somebody else's set and you're like, damn, I played that song and it did not hit the same.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
this one hits, and you're like, no fucking way I could play
No
that.
way this works.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, Nick, you've told me between you and Greg, you know, when you guys have played multiple nights, you know, you guys play together twice a week. There's songs that you're like, I got to bring that back.
Yeah.
Immediately. I need to bring this back into my rotation based upon how this was brought in.
Mhm.
Yeah. 100%.
Or you say, watch this, and then it falls on its ass.
100%. That happens too. And that's I mean, that just comes from working so often. There's also this used to work and suddenly it doesn't anymore, which
Yeah.
is
A lot of Migos.
That is
A lot of
wild.
Migos.
you're like, this was the hottest song in the room and is now a fucking deflated balloon.
He said a lot of amigos, man.
Yo, Migos don't get played no more, huh? That's
Yeah,
I mean-
dedication, bro.
You know what? I've realized that they weren't for a little bit. Like maybe they got played after a while, and maybe Trav, just because we were talking about them because Rolling Loud, we're kind of hype on them right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like they still have like a lot of energy. Like you play a Migos song, people are still gonna pop off, depending on the song. Not
Yeah.
maybe not the
But-
newest Migos song,
but
but
that
like
goes-
the classics.
That goes back to what we were originally talking about too, right? Because It depends on who's playing it, when they're playing it, how they're
Yeah,
playing
that
it.
it truly does.
Yeah.
All
You
those
know.
variables.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
I do want to talk about jams with you, Flo.
let's do it.
Because that's how we met.
Mhm.
Is that was that kind of your bread and butter for DJing? Like, was that where you were
think-
your kind of niche?
Yeah, that was like my lane. I'm close friends with a lot of the b-boys out here. Shout out my boy Donovan, Rock Force.
Shout out
Crew.
Dono. Shout out
Shout
Rock
out.
Force in general.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I got linked in with Denver and how he brought me out because I did the Vans Jam last year, and so I got called to do the Skills Talk Jam.
Yep.
The Skills Talk Day Festival. We was there till
Truly,
like
yeah, man.
yo, we was there till like 12 o'clock, bro.
So obviously this
And they had, like,
this
the Korean media there. And
it was
shit.
crazy. So we got to talk.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. Like, we
Bro.
really had like
Yeah.
Korean reality
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
film crews there. It was a
Run
trip.
it. Run it.
So
Here they are.
I guess the clip we got to give the Cliff Notes explanation on
Yeah.
B-boy jams and skills talk.
There you go. Yeah.
B-boy jams, we've talked about it briefly before in the past. Breakdance competitions, and it's got its own set of DJs that kind of specifically like that's their thing.
It's the style. It's the style.
It's a style of DJing, just like club
Yeah.
DJing or wedding DJing. It's its own thing.
Mhm.
And a lot of
It's a
these
very
guys-
call
like,
and response style too, with the dancer and the DJ.
yes, and it's its own language. It has its own songs, anthems, things like that. So this jam in particular, Skills Talk, is sponsored by Vans. Started as kind of a homegrown thing by the homie Denver from Rock Force Crew, who's originally from Hawaii but moved to Vegas. And Rock Force Crew is a crew originally from the Bay Area, but now they have members all over the country.
Mhm.
Huge jam. Like this jam is massive. And the one we played, I think, was the second one.
Mhm.
And then they
Yeah.
also have two that they do in California, the Vans Jam that you were
Yeah.
playing. So yeah, you came out here. They brought you and Megatone out from Arizona. And
Oh, he's from River IE. He's
is he from IE? I don't know why I
Yeah,
thought he was
yeah.
from Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm getting it all fucked up today. But
All these locations.
Shout out Megatone. That's the homie.
that he's cool as shit.
Yeah.
And knows his shit too. He's a really fucking good DJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we were there all fucking day.
Yeah.
And I had to dip out because I had to work at the club. So I was like, yo, I gotta go at 10. Like
Yeah.
I gotta go to work. I didn't get coverage. Like I have to be here.
We was there till like 12, 1 o'clock, bro.
It was a 12-hour day.
It was
Mm.
crazy. It was crazy.
They had we said like they had like this huge Korean crew flew in
Mhm.
and they were filming like everywhere. They came to On the Record, I think, that weekend too, and they filmed
Oh,
there.
did they? They were
Yes, like
filming- oh shit.
it was crazy. It was a
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
ass ordeal. I want to say, Colin, you were playing and you were like some real ass break dancers came in. Somebody
oh, yeah,
I
from
knew.
New York. From New
Yes.
York.
Oh,
The-
that was
the creators.
the
of-
twins were in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the
You're-
Les twins.
No,
The
the N-word,
OGs.
the OG twins from New
Yeah,
York,
yeah.
from the Bronx. They're the ones who basically invented hitting the floor.
Trap.
Mm.
They're like six in their 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like-
late 70s guys.
Like New York dudes.
Mm.
And they was getting down still?
No, they were just they
Oh.
just no, they were just they were there.
Those,
They were-
those eyes were getting down. Those eyes were looking
But it was a wild weekend. But anyways,
Yeah.
is that where are B-boy jams kind of where you were cutting your teeth? Or
Yeah,
how
that
did
was
you get into that?
that's kind of how I got started. It was just within, the hip hop, like I went to B-boy jams, I was DJing at B-boy jams, I was on my backpacker shit, you know what I mean? And then but then you started doing house parties. I started in high school, and so then I started doing that, but it was just all alongside each other. But B-boy jams was more so like kind of what I was hitting, and then I started getting into production. And so then I started producing like original breaks and like, you know what I mean, like making my own edits in that kind of arena. And so I was just like, oh, let me just kind of go in on this. So that's kind of where before I even, was doing the whole social media thing, like that's kind of where I was at, was like doing b-boy jams, making original breaks, stuff like that.
Let's talk about breaks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to. We're speaking to an audience that we assume knows nothing about breaking.
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
what is a break?
Me.
So breaks, like just like original break beats. If you think about hip hop DJing, right? Hip hop DJing, you're I mean down to, I don't want to go into a history lesson, but
But like Herc and
Herc,
Flash.
right? Herc, Flash, they're looping up the best part of the record, right? That's kind of
Mhm.
the foundation of hip hop culture, right? And so
Mhm.
that is kind of what we're talking about when we're talking about spin and break. So
And that break part usually comes in the middle part of the record.
yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
breakdown of the song. It's usually the drum, you know what I mean, like drum and bass, if not just drums, just the percussion parts, just the best parts of the record. You know what I'm
Mhm.
Yeah.
saying? It could be the beginning of the record, it could be whatever.
Traditionally
so-
speaking, that's
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
break. B-boys
exactly.
break on the break.
Right.
For sure. So when you talk about DJing a b-boy jam, the first of all, the pickiness is at an all-time high. The the attention to detail is at an all-time high, because you got to think about your timing with,
Mm.
if you're specifically in the battles, like where's the energy, you gotta pick breaks that have a certain energy, like you're almost like soundtracking a fight, right?
Mhm.
Like
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
like it's literally a battle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, if it's a hype battle, if there's like dancers that could get down, you got to pay attention to the crews, you got to pay attention to who's who, like who might show up to this jam, who's in the bracket, who did they battle before, who are they battling now.
Mm.
And you
Also, like acute detail to the song. Like
yes,
if a song has a bridge pretty early that or like an intro that's just
Right.
yeah,
that part of the song ain't danceable or hype, like you
Yeah.
got to cut that. You have to know ahead of
Yeah.
time that that's not part of it.
exactly. So you got to know where, you got to know your music, like you
Mhm.
know what I mean, you got to know when you know what I mean, like you can switch it up, who's going next. Oh, this guy, like, maybe he's a Latin cat, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh
Mhm.
shit, I could kind of play on some of his rocking, or you know what I'm saying, let me play this break. So it's just, I don't know if that explains it at all, but
No, it does. Like you have to be pretty particular and mindful of the competition, and also like mindful of your DJing, because
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
you
exactly.
have to be timely. Like there's no fucking up
Yeah,
the
yeah,
metronome essentially of your mix, because
Mhm.
they're gonna notice.
for sure.
And there's nothing worse than the whole jam looking at you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
getting one of these, like
Oh yeah, like
Oh,
like damn, like y'all ain't
next
even in a
song,
battle,
new
like bro,
song.
like. And so
does
yeah,
that does that happen a lot, even to super skilled dudes, where you're like, "Yo, I know my shit, but I'm still getting to wrap it up."
So it's not necessarily a wrap it up as much as it's you either get to wrap it up or like this song sucks.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like this song is not it. And sometimes it's gas face, like people do it and you're like, shut up, just fucking get done.
Exactly.
But
Mm.
sometimes like if you'll see like a rookie DJ or somebody who I don't know, somebody who just has bad taste in that moment and they'll just
yeah.
do it and you're like, this song sucks. Like
Yeah.
for real. Like as a b-boy on the other end, I've been there where I'm like, not
Yeah.
this one, new
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Give me
I'm
something
not gonna-
harder.
I'm
And it
not
doesn't
gonna-
matter like who it is, though, right?
It doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't matter who's up there. It could literally be the greatest breaks DJ of all time.
I'm
And you're
like,
just
I don't
like,
want that.
not this song. Like this one ain't hitting for me.
I mean,
and
for
you
the
either got to
most
deal
part-
with it,
Yeah.
or the DJ's gonna give you a different track. It
Mhm.
really
Does the
depends on
DJ
who it
say
is.
some shit, or they accept it and they're like, "Fuck it, I'll play you something else."
It depends on who
It also
is.
depends on the DJ. If you
Yeah.
get somebody that's like trying to get their feet wet, just
Mhm.
getting in, like, because even in jams they have openers. Like you'll get
Yeah,
the
yeah,
new guy who's trying to come up,
Mhm.
and then you get the real experienced cat. Nobody's ever gonna tell that. Most of the time, nobody's gonna tell
Yeah.
them the song
And for the
sucks.
most part, when the experienced cats kind of know the deal, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
for the most part, they're soundtracking it correctly, right?
Mhm.
It's
'Cause,
usually the
the
younger
jam-
cats, and then they'll give you a new song because they're shook.
Yeah, because jams have
Nick.
gotten pretty sophisticated at this point, to where you kind of know who can handle what, and like everyone kind of has more of a defined role. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
Because
Nick,
they're
have you
not
ever punked a
adding
DJ?
songs.
What was that?
I've definitely asked a DJ to give me a different song.
Did you ever punk any DJ?
No,
like out of
that's
spite, like
never
man,
been
I don't
like, what
like
the
you that you're,
fuck?
you're DJing one of my jams. Like, fam,
I've
change
been
it.
I've been
I have
upset at a DJ, but I've never like gone at him sideways. Just
Yeah,
because I grew up with DJs, I would.
Flo, has a dancer ever cussed you out? Like,
Well,
hey, bro,
I've
like you
had
played the
homies that
worst set.
I'm cool with them, and then it's like they try to blame their loss on you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm getting
Come
at.
on, bro.
Okay.
You got burned, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
I've definitely done that.
Yeah, it's the music, the way my shoes are set
Yo,
up.
like
it's,
my shit ain't gonna do nothing for you. Like
I've definitely
Yeah.
been like, he gave me the wrong song. I could have got off, but he
That's
gave me the
it.
wrong track.
Yeah.
My favorite, and like this is coming from a guy who's like a consistent, never a winner. I'm always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I was semi-finalist, finalist in my
Okay.
heyday, but never won.
Yeah.
And it's always like you gave me heat all night until the end.
27 dresses. 27
I
dresses.
always
I
get
like
heat
it.
until the end.
27 dresses. There you go, Nick.
Yep.
All right,
So-
my question, though. They're not adding songs to this library of shit that goes off.
And that's what I wanted to get at. That's why I wanted to ask about a break. I mean, I asked about what a break was because now, because you kind of brought it up, you said original breaks.
yeah.
The library isn't getting added to. The anthems are the anthems. The breaks
Mhm.
are the breaks.
Mhm.
And you can kind of find stuff, but now, because we're in a new era of YouTube, streaming, Instagram, and copyright infringement, I would prefer you to elaborate on.
Yeah. So like, the jams are getting more televised, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whether that, I'm talking about YouTube and stuff, and so you obviously get copyright flagged, and so for footage and for things to even get posted and get amplified,
Mhm.
you're forced to kind of have original kind of music, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's kind of where making my own stuff comes in. For one, it just kind of differentiates you, just the same way that edits could differentiate you as like a certain DJ in a certain room, right?
Mhm.
Same exact concept, but it's for specifically these b-boy jams. So creating your own breaks, making your own edits, and kind of, I don't know, it's sometimes it could get annoying because you
Yeah.
kind of want to, like sometimes these edits get out of, it's like getting out of hand. Like
It does.
I remember,
It's a funny scene because it's a small amount of people
Yeah.
making these music.
yeah. There's not a lot of people that do it, right? And so,
Yeah.
I remember I sent you a joke one time because it's like, the big thing to flip right now is the what is it? The Baby Keem,
The Baby
horns
Keem.
or whatever. And
is
so,
that Family
sometimes
Ties?
that will leak its way
Yes.
in, right?
Okay,
Like
yeah.
your taste as a DJ can like sometimes I'll try to flip like unassuming, like some primo shit. Like I'll grab the sample and then make it a breakbeat kind of, or you know what I mean? Things like
Yeah.
that. But some people are even flipping like popular shit, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
To try to play into like, oh, this
The
is
hype of
popular.
this
Yeah,
song.
it's hype because this song's hype, it's familiar, but it's in
Mhm.
these break beats. But sometimes people don't do it right, and sometimes the break could be kind of cheesy because it kind of like loses the essence. So we're in this weird time where you got all these like these b-boys that kind of expect that.
Mm.
It's weird because now there's b-boys who grew up and started breaking
Mhm.
in this generation
Yeah.
where this exists.
Well, who's doing it right?
Shout out to
Besides Flo.
Flo, shout out to
Besides Flo.
Flag, shout
Okay.
out to damn, who else is out there doing it? Flag is probably the biggest.
Yeah, he's definitely on the top of the US scene for sure. He's like the
There's
there's
another-
a dude out of Texas that's doing some stuff. I know a lot of the
I'm
Euro
trying to blank
guys.
because I'm drawing a blank because there's a couple in the US that I want to shout out right now that
Yeah.
I'm just not thinking of. But Flag is definitely the
Yeah,
biggest.
yeah,
Mhm.
Megatone has some as well.
yeah. Megatone.
Fuck, it's gonna drive
it's
me
a
nuts.
trip.
right-
It's a
I
trip
feel
how there's
so
only a
bad.
handful of.
There's really only a small amount of guys, and the thing is it's like even when you get annoyed with it, because I used to be bothered. I'm like, oh, these songs just don't hit, because it's like it's like breaking to hip hop songs that your buddy makes. And it's like they're cool, like beats that your buddy makes, and it's cool, but it don't hit like fucking the JBs and the Bar Ks and
Yeah.
fucking
right.
Herbie Hancock, like these world-renowned musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking hit like the Headhunters or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But it's out of
But-
necessity.
But it's out of necessity, and so I can't get mad at my homie Flo because he's not fucking Lonnie Liston Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
I mean, you could
try,
be mad.
I try my best to keep those elements kind of in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I edit and make my own beats and stuff, like try to make sure that there is breaks back there, like the funkiness kind of is intact. You know what I'm saying? And you're not just over here doing like hip hop beats fast
Right.
at 112. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Because that could get cheesy too, right? Because then people start, you know, like, what am I? Am I supposed to break to this? Am I supposed to, you know, crump to the? You know what I mean?
Because at
Right,
a weird
right,
point,
right.
it sounds like cheerleading music sometimes.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
shit.
Oh, like,
Okay.
Where it's like certain sounds are put in, like there's a crash,
yeah.
and then they're all kind of laid out the same way. Like,
That's the worst.
You talking about
It's-
like the cheerleading edits,
Yes.
Yeah.
like those?
yeah,
and then
they're like hip hop esque versions of that,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah.
And they
Where
add the
there's-
stabs.
There's
right?
Yeah.
crashes and stabs, like that are for b-boys to like freeze on the 8
Yeah.
layer on the 4.
right.
Like it's like if you haven't heard this song, you'll do just fine because the math is out there. Like
Yeah.
you'll figure it
Yeah.
out. Like it's made for you to break on and do a cool move at this point, and you'll know it because you'll feel it.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting time. The homie JDHD, he just did one of
Shout
the Red
out.
Bull jams,
Oh yeah, I did see
and
that.
he was saying that Red Bull now has their own pool.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you get to do a Red Bull event like BC One or any of their events,
Uh-huh.
they give you a pool that you can go download music from now.
Oh, that's
Oh,
what's
okay.
up.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
and it has like stuff from people from DJs all over the world, right? Like has a lot of
Yeah.
flex stuff, old lean stuff. old
Lean
school-
Rock is another one. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
shout out.
yeah,
Lean Rock is
yeah.
probably the other biggest ones of Flag and Lean. Actually, I'd
Yeah.
say yeah, those are probably the
That's
two biggest
that's
ones.
The two biggest break
Mhm.
DJs for sure. But yeah, and then you know people are getting hip. Like I know that it's so random. Jack in the Box was the new corporate sponsor, right?
Yes,
feel
Jack
like-
in the Box is sponsoring all b-boy jams now, which is like seems so counterintuitive.
Like,
Like
damn, can we just get something healthy, bro? Like,
Wow, speaking of fast food restaurants,
and so
Hey.
yay!
but
Speaking
they're
of-
they're
go
starting to
ahead.
sponsor like or they're starting to get rights to songs, like some of the hits. Like I know that they had like Just Begun in one of their campaigns.
Wow.
So along
See
with
that
the
I think is
sponsorship,
really the next step is
Yeah,
buying the rights of the classics because
well, yeah,
nobody else is
are-
playing Jimmy
Are
Castor.
they buying it or are they leasing it? Are they leasing?
well, they're
it?
Probably-
leasing it, right?
They're
Okay.
leasing it.
Yeah.
So
It's like when you get the sample rights. type
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yep. So
I think
stuff
that's
like
really the
happening.
next step.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be the next step is like allowing the classics to be played because if Just Begun can't be played, in my opinion, like it's not like
Just
I
it's
get
just
it,
begun played
cliche.
at every
Out.
jam.
it used to be,
Yeah.
but now it's not. You're lucky. It's I wouldn't say you're lucky because you know we're all tired of it, but it's kind of cliche. But the fact that like it can't be played during a battle is kind of wild.
Mhm.
Does Just Begun ever get the next song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just Begun is like if we were I tell you guys all the time where I'm like that's a top 16 song or that's a prelim song.
Yeah.
Right.
Just Begun is totally a top 16 song.
Yeah.
Mm. Mhm.
If you want to get everybody hype, a familiar song that you know every little part of, but you don't want to burn yourself with the heat
Yeah.
later on,
Yeah.
Just Begun's good. These top 16 crews are gonna be just happy. You can do 4 rounds of Just Begun because usually it's 1 round per song.
Okay.
This guy goes, next song.
Yeah.
You could do 4 guys with Just Begun.
Yeah.
2 full rounds, no problem.
Where does Cavern sit in there?
Cavern, top 16 or even Cypher song, not even in the competition.
Not even.
Mm.
Yeah, top 16's full of like ultimate breaks and beats, you know, just like classics. You can
Yes.
run all
Okay.
those. Prelims obviously. Usually I do like hip hop in there, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Prelims is
classic
predominantly 90s hip hop.
joints. Yeah.
You're
yeah,
getting Tribe Called Quest, Far Side,
yeah, yeah.
Souls.
What would you say is like would be like one of the newest break songs right now?
You could slip in some new shit.
It's really original breaks for the most part.
Yeah.
Did you like Kuragbin?
Krogbin has a break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Krogbin
Yeah.
Or
has a
like
break.
Salt. I play some Salt.
Salt. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Salt has some
Yeah.
breaks.
You know, there's like there's like labels that make funk like Coal Mine Records. and-
Daptone.
Yep, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Sometimes it doesn't crunch
Mm,
enough.
okay.
Yeah.
And
It's
sometimes
it's
it's a little
cool,
bit
but
too,
it's
like,
like a little
flat.
too
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
Mm,
You need
okay.
something with some fucking oomph to it.
And that's
Mhm.
where edits come in, right? Like I might even do an edit that's not necessarily me making a full like original
Original.
song.
Right.
just
Like,
beefing
I
a
like
fucking
this
song up.
piece of Salt, right? That
Yeah,
like
yeah.
has hype. So I'm gonna make that a loop and then add add a little sauce on top of it, and then all of a sudden it's a new, you know what I mean? I could repurpose that little part. So
What salt song did you
Salt London Gangs is the one I play.
do? Oh, okay. You do free?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why I like London Gangs. Doom da da doom da doom doom da doom da da doom.
Yeah.
London Gangs. That one's tough,
Mhm.
but it's so short, so you kind of have to.
Mhm.
Unless you want to manually loop it over and over, right?
Doom da da doom da
Yeah.
doom doom. Yeah.
Have you guys played?
Oh, NERD. That
Yeah.
what's
Shake
up?
It Up. She makes me feel like lightning inside. That one.
Mhm.
She wants to move.
She wants to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's another one they had.
But you're not gonna play the hook though in the jam,
No.
right? Like,
No.
see, that's
So
the thing is
slow.
like, nah, because it's like a song about like
It's dancing with a girl or
Yeah,
a girl
yeah.
dancing.
exactly.
No,
It's gonna be
that's
battling the
what's the
motherfucker, like-
NERD one? Everybody, let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
But yeah, you could throw those kind of things in there.
Because that one
Just-
used to get played at jams.
It's just about the energy, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it still is cool to find those. You know what I mean? You'll find them on hip hop, new hip hop records sometimes too. Like I play like this JID joint. That's pretty cool.
Knows.
Oh,
Everyone
Oh
knows.
yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah.
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 So,
I want to know if you guys have ever played a break set for Pedestrian Crowd.
I try and I get cold feet.
Mhm.
I
Because
tried
in
it at Best
theory-
Friend 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 sets ago. Not
Mhm.
not the last time I played Best Friend, but maybe the last time. I played Rock Creek Park, and I forgot what it was. It was probably Cavern, something like really cliche like that. And I think another, I don't remember. I wanted to play Just Begun, but when I heard it in the headphone, I was like, can't
too
do it.
much. Yeah,
I can't.
yeah,
Sometimes you hear it in the headphone, you're like, I can't bring it out. It's too much.
yeah.
For the one
Mm.
possible b-boy in the room, yeah. well,
Hella horns just blaring over people.
yeah, it's just unless you were there, you're not gonna get it.
The
You
loudest
don't
one.
realize how funny some breaks are until, because when I first started breaking, I hated Just Begun.
Yeah.
I just did not think it was a cool song. And
Yeah.
I don't think the Mexican is a cool song, honestly.
I love
Oh.
the Mexican.
Dude, yeah, call it
Mexican.
when I first heard the Mexican, I
Am
hated the
am
Mexican.
is that bad? Is that like
No, dude, that's not bad because fucking some breaks are silly songs. And I can never get that 13-year-old me out of my head sometimes listening to a song and being like, this sucks. Why are we dancing to this?
Mm.
Because I thought we
Mm.
were dancing to fucking Run DMC. It's like that.
What's going on? in the
Yeah, that's what I
world
thought.
today?
13-year-old me thought that's what we were breaking to. And then I go to a jam and I hear fucking Just Begun in Rock Creek Park. I'm like, whose
Here's-
grandpa is DJing?
Here's why. The
And then
Mexican-
they grow on you, and then you're like, I love Johnny Bristol at 14 years old.
The Mexican's so cool because I wasn't exposed to that. I wasn't exposed to hearing it in the context of a battle.
Right.
So when I did hear it, I heard it with fresh ears. I didn't hear, oh, here we are again.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I mean, think about that.
I got the
guitar
opposite.
solo, that shit's nasty, right? Like,
See,
Right,
I listened to the Mexican before I ever saw a battle, because again, I thought breaks were like electro and fucking old hip hop,
Mhm.
and then I listened to like I found like a b-boy mix or something, and my friend was like, "This is b-boy music," and I hear the Mexican, I'm like, and then I saw it in a battle, and I was like, "Oh, never mind, this song's tough." Like that guy looks like he's gonna punch that guy's head off. This song rules.
See, that's another part of it too, right? Is like if you know you're like historically, if you've watched battles in the past, like sometimes you'll even be like, oh shoot, this is like the blah 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 battle, right?
This
It's
happened at
almost like the
98
same
Summit. Like there's
energy.
certain
Yeah, yeah, and
songs and
then
certain
you could
battles that
just
if I hear a song, I see a
Yeah.
battle
Yeah.
specifically.
And then if
That's
you
crazy.
drop it, then people that like, oh, they'll recognize why this is a dope like sequence of songs, right? Like it was from that battle. So there's a lot
Like,
that goes into
Policewoman is always going to be Flo Mo versus Rocksteady in my
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Shit like
Mm.
that, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. I don't even know why we sign up for it because it's so
No
fucking
idea.
difficult.
Yeah.
and it
I
basically
say
has the
this-
lowest rate on earth, right?
The
Like, of,
lowest
like,
rate, you almost don't get
Yeah.
paid. It's the hardest
I was
working.
gonna ask. I was gonna ask
It's
about
the
this.
lowest. It's the
Yeah.
hardest form of DJing, in my
Something,
opinion.
Trav, something just kind of gave it away. It was a low rate. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was weird, right?
It
It
is.
kind of had a little.
B-boy jams
weird.
is the
I was
hardest
asking all those
form of
questions.
DJing.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. Now you might get a good rate,
yeah,
Skills Talk was a good rate. Shout out to Vance.
Yeah.
But like, or most of the time, it's the worst rate, and it's like having to do a DJ for like, I don't know, the Scratch Pickles. Like you have to be the coolest DJ for fucking 10 hours.
It's the equivalent of wedding.
It's the worst DJ. It's the
of a
worst wedding you've ever
DJ,
played.
But in that form.
It's the hardest form of wedding DJing.
So why do you guys do it? It's got to be because of the love.
It's the love, dude.
It
That's
is,
that's
it
the
is.
culture.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
there's like it's because it's such a small circle, right? You're like, if I give my song off to the illest battle, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
You're the guy forever.
then that
Like
shit
at
will
least for that
circulate,
time.
right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
like I got the finals. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, I'm about to.
And everybody watches the final and they're like,
Yeah,
yo, I
yeah.
DJ'd that. Like
Damn,
that's
Yeah.
I'm about to get this
Yeah.
squadron, clip off. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Or-
Making
That-
your own shit has that huge investment now too.
yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
That's
And
the
then
other thing. So
the
when we're-
Olympics are coming around, right?
Mm.
So
it's gotten to the point where we all thought like when we were kids, we're like, oh, I'd love to DJ. I love to beat break at the X Games, or like now it's for real in the Olympics.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's crazy. And so like that's the other thing.
2024,
Like
right?
when we're
Next year,
yep,
right?
24. And that's what we were talking about. Like when we're saying we hear a song and we think of a battle, like as the DJ, that's what you want. Like I DJ'd that battle you're thinking
Yeah.
of. It's classic hip hop shit. Like, cause as a B-boy, you're like, I want this song to be my anthem. I want people to know when they think of this song, they think of me. Or as a graffiti writer, you think of this spot that was his name.
Yeah,
you know
that
what
was
I mean?
epic, right? Like he got his shit up off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's kind of the same concept, right? It's like very like
Getting up in all elements is really at the end of the day what it's all about.
yeah.
Yo, who's gonna get the Olympics?
So they're still qualifying. They're still going through qualifiers, and they have the Youth Olympics and they have the Adult Olympics.
No, I'm talking about for the DJs.
Oh, for the DJs, it'll probably be the Red Bull guys like Flag and Lean,
Yeah, like
Okay.
most likely.
Or,
I'm trying to think who else. Some of the Japanese guys, Coco's always on those kind of things, but
yeah.
Coco's not
DJs gonna
playing
compete
battles.
too? Why not?
They're not competing, but they're
Should.
they're DJing it.
You know what I'm interested in though is like, let's just say it's the Olympics, right? It's in Paris, right? There's gonna be like,
Yeah.
how about like practice facilities? How about like,
Like
like
legit
what
training
kind of
facilities.
opportunities are like around the training and the
Right.
festivities, kind of that cultivate the actual competition, So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
um,
each country bring their own DJ?
They won't have their own DJ, so it's gonna work like a jam where one DJ is doing the event, and then
Okay.
every country will have their own b-boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's my question. These dudes, you dudes included, are so fucking versed in this shit. What's the percentage? What's the overlap of dudes that can rock a club, that can
Mm.
rock a crowd.
That's what I was gonna say. Most of the time, because there are guys who just can't go anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Flo, if I want to know if you agree with this, I
Yeah.
feel like guys who come from the b-boy scene are the best DJs. They just have fast hands
Mm-hmm.
and they started with a very eclectic palette.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good read on the crowd.
They know how to move fast
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's how you train. Like if you started DJing from playing battles,
Mm-hmm.
you're fucking fast.
Do they stay up on music though? Because you don't truly have to.
And that's where it changes. If those
Mhm.
guys pivot into becoming, okay, I want to DJ for a living. And in
Mhm.
Vegas, that happened a lot. Like
Yeah.
guys would come up in the scene out here and then want to make a living as a DJ, so they pivot into club guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about other cities. Flo.
Sometimes they get caught in it, you know what I mean? Like they don't really progress, right? Because that's a whole nother part of your brain, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you gotta like get over this whole like, we have all done it, the whole backpacker, like, oh, I don't fuck with, you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
fuck with
Like,
jiggy shit or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Like you
yeah.
picked a side or something,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so, there's a couple people that don't give a fuck about that, and like you said, like the transition between both is um it ends up being seamless, right?
Mm.
But really what it comes down to is if you come from that and you really study the culture and kind of, like my blueprint is like shortcut, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like
Right.
the triple threat DJs, Apollo, like they're hip hop guys, they're on some b-boy shit, but I went to all their parties and they was party rocking like crazy,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it really comes down to your exposure, right? And what you kind of study and where you want to kind of take it, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because you could be super good as a breaks DJ, but like I don't know how they would translate into a club. Maybe if they're playing for like, you know, a lot of people are into throwbacks now, so that's kind of why it's a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
more palatable for some of their tastes. But in general, I don't, it really just depends on the DJ.
It really
I don't know if
does
that's
because
important. Yeah.
you have to pivot musically.
Yes.
You can't play b-boy shit in the club. That's just not fresh.
Never.
Right.
You have to like learn what's being played. You have to go out. You have to have an open mind.
Yeah.
But technically, like all the DJs that I know, myself not included, because I didn't grow up playing jams. I didn't play jams till later.
Oh,
I was making breaks mixtapes for me and my buddies to practice to. I didn't
Gotcha.
play jams till after I was already like in it.
Mhm.
And so, but like JDHD, older guys, Presto, Casanova, Mike Murder from Knucklehead Zoo,
Mhm.
who lives in LA now but still DJing. All those guys are fucking monsters.
Mhm.
Mm.
Lean, I've heard Lean play in a club, like a monster. Like these guys are very good DJs when they're on their club shit.
Mhm.
But I also know guys like shout out to the homie Kev Rock, who's coming up out here in the b-boy scene. He just got done playing Houston at B-Boy Hoedown, I think. Or no, what's Moy's event?
Break free.
Break Free.
Yeah.
So he just got done playing Break Free, which is one of the biggest jams in the country.
Mhm.
And I talked to him and he's like, I don't think I'll ever be a club guy.
Mhm.
Just not interested.
Yeah.
He's just, he draws that line and he picked his side. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And that's the other half of the guys. They're
Mhm.
not interested. And that's totally okay. It's a different realm.
For sure. And to be honest with you, before the Usher opportunity even happened, like I never even like thought about trying to be out in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like I was almost like I have my residency still in Oakland. It's like more open format kind of, clubby room on Saturdays, but I was already kind of checked out, you know what I mean? I was just kind of doing the vinyl thing, just trying to like share that music. And then when it came up, I was like, oh well, that I can't just say no, right? I can't
Mm.
just not do it. And so it just kind of switched my, so it also depends on your opportunities and where you're able to play, you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Because if, you know, sometimes you just kind of like, I'm not even feeling that, right? Like if you don't go out and you're not participating, then it's hard to kind of keep up and like know how the new consumers react to music. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of it also.
Are you
100%.
inspired by all genres? Does EDM move the decibel for you at all?
I'm not. I never got into the EDM.
No.
But I appreciate the art of it, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't disregard that there's something there, and like, seeing how people react to music, how I still pay attention to the way they produce the music. You know what I'm saying? And so even though I don't spin it or like it, I feel like I do that with everything, right? Like there's a scene and there's a consumer for everything. And so like I try to understand to know why I don't like something, you know what I'm saying, or why I
Right.
do, or why other people do. So I think there's something to be learned in any kind of genre.
For
Very
sure.
interesting to see a predominantly hip hop focused b-boy DJ fucking find his way to Las Vegas playing Usher after parties, dog. It is to me, it's the coolest fucking thing. Like,
It's so random, but
you fucking snuck
been
your
dope.
way in.
It's been dope, man. And you know what's crazy is all you guys are all on the same tip, you know what I mean? Like I didn't even
100%.
expect it, you know what I mean? And even meeting Eddie and looking at everybody on the roster, it's like everybody actually does have foundation, you know what I'm saying?
Even
Like
Technicolor,
in
our
some hip hop
marketing
shit.
guy.
Yep,
He's a
exactly.
b-boy DJ.
Yep, he knew my boy Donovan, and they
Yep.
were touring fucking. He was wearing the Jabberwocky
The
mask,
Jabba mask.
China and shit.
Uh-huh. It's a small scene.
Yeah, and so it's crazy that just sticking to my hip hop, you know what I mean, shit ended up, paying off, you know what I mean. So, I mean, I'm still, obviously paying dues and still weaving around, but
It never ends.
like you said, for me to make my way out there on some like sharing records and just some hip hop shit is like
The coolest shit.
it's pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
We briefly brought up Jack in the Box, and what we do around these parts is we like to set up our friends with fast food endorsement deals. So what I would like to know is, after a long night of DJing for Usher, what is the flow
Why'd you
meal?
groan after?
Yeah. Why you say it like that?
I'm very
though, man?
congested. I've
Like,
spent
long night.
a long night.
night.
I tried to.
DJ.
I didn't mean
Sit
to
in his
sex it up.
plumes.
Maybe it's the moonlight. It might be because we're.
I think
some
it might be
sex it
Usher.
up.
Man. Why Usher got
Didn't
you
mean to
talking
sex
like
it
that,
up.
man?
Just
I didn't mean to sex it up like
You're
that.
like, watch this.
Was it the midnight hour? The hidden forest. What do they call it? I forgot it. It's a late night radio show. It's Al DeBarge's radio show.
Oh. The hidden forest. The midnight
it's like the
hour.
it's like the
Light skin
forbidden
shit.
forest or some shit like that.
Oh, the secret garden?
Secret garden, yeah.
The
Forbidden
secret
Forest,
garden.
The forbidden forest.
something like that. Some sort
Is
of
that the Quincy Jones?
botanical. Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, secret.
I wasn't too far off.
What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know where we go. What we like to do is set our friends up with fast food endorsement meals.
Forbidden
Fuck
forest.
up, let me get through this.
Go to the secret garden.
I can't fucking breathe. What is your go-to fast food meal?
fast
What
food
is the
meal.
DJ Flow meal and where is it?
If it's still open, I'd probably hit In and Out over anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Specifics. I need the meal, sides, drink.
I just keep it simple, double. Sometimes if I feel like I'm on a good healthy run, I'll get it animal style, or no, not animal style.
I was like,
that's
oh,
even
You mean
reversed.
protein
healthy.
style?
Protein style, that's what I meant.
Hella
Obviously I
healthy.
never get that, right?
Yeah.
Healthy.
He said, if I'm feeling a
Healthy.
little froggy,
If I'm feeling healthy today.
healthy, I'll get the animal
I did
style.
just hear of like
Animal
this style where you could get it like a mustard fried patty or something like
Whoa.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
yeah,
That's
Hold
a
on.
secret
Back up.
menu.
What is that about?
yeah, I
secret
heard that you
menu.
can order that. It's like mustard fried patty.
Okay. So let's rewind this. So the flow meal is
A double #1 at In and Out.
Wait a minute,
What's
what we
the
doing with
drink?
what we doing with that?
You're not
fried-
doing the mustard fried patty, or is that just like a?
Oh, that's just
add-on?
something I heard of recently that I
Oh,
haven't
okay,
tried
okay.
it
You're
yet.
not putting this with your meal.
No.
Oh,
That I
okay,
just
okay.
I just keep it simple. Just
Okay, fair.
What are we
I
drinking?
even do no onions.
Okay.
I just drink water. I don't drink soda or any sweet
Water out of the gun.
Yeah,
Water
Bro,
out
I'm
of
gonna
the
be honest with
fountain,
you, Chris, because we're friends. This
water
already
out of the
sucks.
bottle.
You.
Somebody had to say it.
Most chill.
Somebody
that's
had to
not
say it.
that because In-N-Out closes at 2, and so
You know
if
what? You're getting that Cali tap water though. Out here, it's
Yeah.
different. You can't.
Oh,
Can't drink the
okay.
water.
That Lake Mead tap water, you don't want that. That's got bodies in it.
Oh, topo. Now we talking. Here we
Now
go.
we're talking.
Some
Put a topo on there. Put a
Yeah,
topo
put
on
a
there.
topo in
Yeah.
there.
We gotta spice it up. So for the flow bill, you get a topo. It's the only way you can get a topo in and
Only
out.
This
way.
podcast should be sponsored by Topo, but we're just
Absolutely.
Should be for sure. We love lists. We love lists around here, and I hate to do this to you. Top 5 Flo's favorite songs to drop at a jam.
Ooh.
And I can give you top 3 if you just want to go top 3, 1, 2, 3, off top of the dome today. On July 24th. What do you got? See, I put the date in there.
Yeah,
I put the date in there.
you just
Pulled up the
timestamped us.
newspaper.
We gotta post it now.
It's coming out.
I think I always think the hypest shit is the woo shit. Protect your neck.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
It always
um,
works. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the Method Man one? Bring the
the Pain.
pain.
Bring the pain.
Um,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say what's the one from Tikal that everybody goes off on?
Oh, that one. I honestly I didn't really play that until I started hearing it dropped a lot. I feel like Fleg kind of reintroduced that record into like the the sphere, but
Is it Release Your Delph? Is that what I'm thinking?
no, it's As I Walk Through the Valley of Death.
Yes, I was who that be, Mr. H.O.T.
What
That's
is
so
it?
funny. I know all the words.
Um,
Breaking.
Wait, do people
PL
play Gravel Pit? They don't play. Do they?
No,
No way.
It's,
No gravel pit.
It's a little too happy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a major key.
Yeah. Damn, what is that song?
Is that just Tikal? Now I gotta listen. Hold on, I'm gonna mute.
Yeah, it's Judgment Day. Judgment Day.
Hmm.
That's not my pick though, because that song's hype though. But if I would
Yeah,
pick another
kids ain't playing
Blues-
over here. Player.
What's something that just hits? Man, you put me on the spot.
Uh,
I guess the newer joint. I'm trying to find a sleeper so I don't look like a punk. Like, what? He just told you some Woo songs.
You said Wu Tang 3 songs.
and then he said the
He
Mexican.
said you whack.
What?
Worst jam
What?
DJ. We getting
Top
fucking.
three.
We're getting protect your neck in the finals. Damn.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I play in the final. I mean, I try to play my own stuff. I don't want to. I'm not out here trying to promote my own stuff though. But
That's okay. You got some meat.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Classics. Let's do this. Top 3 classics.
I would
Three
say that-
classics,
I
yeah.
would say that those are kind of classics, right?
Those are classics for
Yeah,
sure.
Wu-Tang.
Wait a minute, what were the 3? Protecting that.
So we have 2. Protect your neck.
If
Bring the
you don't-
pain.
If
Bring
you
the
don't,
pain.
if you don't come up with a number 1, we'll just put Cantaloupe in there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C,
Fucking heater. Let's go.
Dude, what's another hip hop joint that is just like, damn, why am I
Trying-
drawing a blank? That just shows how I haven't DJed since Skills
It's
Talk.
been a while since we played a jam.
Skills Talk. That was back in February. Damn, what am
Oh,
I
shit.
dropping? What am I dropping? I mean that new JID, or it's like newer, the Never joint.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that shit's hot.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was going off at jams.
Yeah.
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 And that's not even, that's just a new hip hop song that just went off.
Yeah, a lot of people's playing that Pusha. You know that dun, dun, dun. I don't even know how to.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm talking about? It's on the new album.
Yes.
I made
my
an edit
God.
of it, but everyone's playing the original. It's kind of
Everybody's
weird.
playing
though.
that and the JID song. You're right. I forgot about
Yeah,
that. That's a weird beat. It's sick though. It's fast.
Yeah. Let's just go back to classics. I got to pick my third one.
Diet Coke?
Is it tight?
Wasn't Diet Coke?
The JID song?
No, the Pusher song.
Let me look. I'll look right now.
Call My Bluff.
Not Call My Bluff.
What's the third song, dude? I feel like a clown. I'm fired, man. I can't even. I don't got
You
my
know
laptop in
you
front
know
of me.
too much. You know too much, man. It's like when you have all these songs at your disposal, and it's
Yeah.
like, give me that top three. It's like blank, boom.
I mean, what's another? Okay, the another classic, Redman, Time for Some Action,
Oh yes.
Yeah,
and especially that Redman clip came out of them just like going off.
Yeah.
Let the
the,
smoker
at
shine
the
through
s-
the coops.
Yeah, that shit.
That's the Pusher one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that Redman clip of them going off at South by.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that kind
Mhm.
of brought that song back in the
that
fold for
at
me. To
Chappelle's
like
was
drive.
that
Yeah.
Chappelle's thing. Yeah,
That was Chappelle's Day.
Yeah,
Chappelle's. Yeah,
Yeah.
Just Blaze set.
I was thinking, why was I getting him mixed up with Scratches
Oh, yeah,
Barbecue?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ah.
okay, those are safe ones. I
Those are
feel-
safe. I like that you went all hip hop.
Yeah.
No breaks. All hip hop.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was nice.
Well, a bit of an easier question, a bit of a softball after
Okay.
that. Congratulations on being the newest member of the 45 Sessions.
Boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
boom,
yes.
boom, boom.
No slight work, sir.
Nah.
Tell us about that.
So 45 Sessions, group of DJs, primarily from the Bay. That it started as like an event, like a little party. Shout out my boy Plattern, the OG, and they were just playing all 45s at their parties.
Mm.
And so they were doing it for years. I would go to those all the time. Sometimes I would go and sell records. I played it a couple times, but more people started getting down, Shortcut being one of them. And yeah, they recently asked me to get down with the crew along with my boy Epic and
Shout
Del
out.
Rocks. And
So
so
stacked.
so yeah, 45 Sessions crew is just basically 45 DJs play all 45s. It's really nerdy, just like like it's not just like party rocks to like, it's just like everything's on the
cuts.
table, right? Just weirdo shit. Like I jumped on their stream a couple months back and I pulled out like these pop 45s I had. So I was playing like Hanson Mbop,
Oh, hell yeah.
Black
45 is kind of sick.
Backstreet Boys,
That's so
Yeah,
fire.
hell yeah.
Backstreet Boys, you know what I mean? Just doing a run like that. So it's just like one of those things where it's just like 4500s grabbing all kind of whatever you see on 45 and just, what do
It's
you
so
got?
funny. We would laugh at these songs, but the fact that you're playing them on donuts makes them way cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I would never
Yeah.
play that
At
song
any other
ever in
point,
my
like, what the
life, right?
fuck are you doing up there? I see you're playing a 45. I'm like, this is crazy.
I need this. Yeah.
This set is insane.
Oh,
And
man,
there's
is
actually
that Barbie
that-
girl. You're like, I need that. Yeah.
No.
Insane.
Hanson Mbop is damn near like break. Like,
Bro, yes,
he's
it
literally-
is.
He's
Yes, it
It's up
is.
there.
No, I play that
Impeach
song.
the president. Those are like impeach the president.
It is impeach the president drums. It 100% is.
There it is. That's I'm gonna stem that
100%
bitch out tonight.
No, because I
Yeah.
play that in my set.
Oh, you've done that again?
Oh no, religiously. I play it in my set religiously because I play it into
Impeach
the baby
Bob.
bop. So
I'm
yeah,
dead.
it works.
Fuck it.
So yeah, 45 Sessions, super cool to just I'm one of those people too that just like if I see it on 45, I'm grabbing it, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for them to allow me to get down with the crew is obviously an honor, but it also gives me another platform to be like, oh, what? Y'all want to see these 45s?
For real.
So
That's
it's
the
just,
that's the whole goal is to find a reason to share this shit that we buy every single day.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
like it's disgusting. Somebody's like, why do people still play out? There's a post a while ago. Why do you still play out vinyl sets? What's your motivation behind that? It's like I got to recoup these funds somehow, man.
Yeah.
Like,
For real.
I can't just keep buying and not put it back. Like even if you're like, hey, I'd like to pay you $75 to play your records, you're like, fucking dope. I get to buy $75 worth of records now. Like, I want to bring up too, congratulations as well. New podcast alert.
Shout out.
Inventions
Yes.
and Dimensions.
Shout out.
Yes,
Inventions and
man.
Dimensions. So it's this is another effort to play out my jazz vinyl collection. So when I started DJing, it was like the early 2000s. So I feel like I caught the last leg of needing to buy records as just
Mhm.
utility. Like that was just
Mhm.
part of the, you know what I mean, like playing. And so as I started to become more of a collector and like like buy stuff that I wanted to buy, it was mostly like jazz records. So over the years, I've always like collected jazz, and I
Mhm.
just never had like what platform do you really have to play jazz records, right? Like other
Right.
than your living room, and then those rare times you have somebody come in your house that would be even open to listening to jazz
Right.
somewhat interested, right?
Yeah.
So I've been waiting for that moment my whole life, that I've been over 20 years and it's never came. So now that I have a platform, I shared a list of jazz records on my social media and that post just went crazy, right? And so I'm like, oh, what? People like this jazz stuff? And so I basically spinned off of that one post and the traction from that post to create a podcast dedicated to jazz vinyl, playing out my favorite records in the same kind of format, list form. What are your top 5, top 10 records in a certain theme? And you know what I mean? So that's kind of what you could expect from the podcast. Like the first one was just my essentials that essentially came from that post that I put up,
Yeah.
just my top 5 favorites. And then I got a whole bunch of episodes kind of in the bank of like Tribe vibes, stuff that Tribe sampled, stuff that Pete Rock sampled, stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like a hip hop approach to it. And then also I have a bunch of guest DJs, which I definitely need y'all on there um eventually, but have guest DJs share their jazz collections too, because I'm finding out that a lot of people don't necessarily have, it's the same story. They don't have the,
Yeah.
they don't have the platform to play that stuff. And
Mhm.
so
Precisely.
you know what I mean? And so yeah, I got my boy Platzern, Epic, and producer Soundtrack on the next couple episodes coming up.
Shout out Epic, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, he's another one. He's been tucked in Sacramento for years. He's an
Mhm.
OG. And through the pandemic, he built up his Twitch channel,
Yep.
and now he's kind of global and getting more recognized. And so shout out Epic. He's in the 45 Sessions crew with me also.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
New
friend,
Shout out
friend of the
Platter.
show.
Shout out
Yeah.
Platter too. He and I and Neil Armstrong, we played in Japan right before
Oh, wow.
lockdown.
Oh yeah, that's
right
right.
before COVID.
Oh, really?
And man, he's amazing. He was playing the Inspector Gadget theme song into just some off the wall shit. And I was still drinking at the time, and I was just like, my jaw was on the ground. I was like, "What?" Like full 360 turn, man.
Was he playing it on 45 or was?
I think he brought. I think he brought some donuts. I think he did. Yeah,
Damn.
because
Yeah.
he's a bad man. He's
Yeah.
a talented mofo.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't know who I was on the lineup with,
Okay.
and it turned out to be him and Neil Armstrong, and I was like,
Dang.
take me off this right now. Now you're
Get me
playing.
off
And I
of
was
this.
like-
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get Neil. I'm lining up Neil because I'm going to Hawaii in 3 weeks or like in the middle of August, and I lined up Neil. He happens to be staying out there for an extended stay, and so I reached out to him, and I'm about to get him on the pod too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fire.
Such a good dude.
Because
Yeah.
I actually know him as a sample dude, right? Like doing those sample tapes early. But yeah, that's pretty much the new pod. And it's getting well received. I'm really excited about just shit being able to share my jazz records. I was
For real.
fucking nerdy as hell, but
Yeah,
It's
man.
funny because when we went digging, me and you were in the jazz section.
Yeah,
and you were
yeah,
like, have you
yeah.
heard this? Have you heard this?
yeah.
So it's fucking cool that like you just like, oh, this is a great way to do this. I'll
Yeah.
fucking bought it.
Yeah, and so and shout out Topo Chico. I know we are talking about Topo Chico, but they they saw the vision. I was able to talk to one of their reps, and the podcast is sponsored by Topo Chico.
Oh,
You
hell yeah.
guys, we're
Hell
getting
yeah.
closer. We're
Yeah.
getting closer.
Hell yeah.
So,
We're getting closer.
Yes.
cross promotion. I got you. We're gonna
Yeah,
We just
man.
found the bridge.
We
Yeah,
did find the
yeah,
bridge.
yeah.
It's vinyl.
Hell
Yes.
5-on-5 is gonna change around here.
It's
is.
gonna change. Things are about to change.
Things are about to change around here.
But yeah, when I'm out there, maybe we could do some episodes. I'll get the Topo kind of involved. I'll
Yeah,
get
See
some-
what happens. My friends can hang with your friends.
I'm good. I could drink probably 5 Topo Chicos back to back.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
I think I'm good for 5. I don't
Yeah.
think
They're harsh though, huh?
It's
Like,
harsh.
It's a hard bubble.
I
It's
like
kinda
it
like
though.
I like
man.
it to hurt.
Beer. It
Yeah.
feels like you're drinking a beer. Like you just like
Yeah.
you-
Helps out a little.
So like
Tastes good.
Pellegrinos are more of a fine bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
feel like because it's so fine, it goes flat faster.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Perrier
Topo
step
Chico
up,
Perrier
Here's a
steps
little
up.
step up.
It's a
Topo
little step up. Topo is full blown soda level of carbonation.
Yeah.
Topo
Yeah.
like really tastes like you're like tasting mineral water. It's
It
like
is mineral. I like
it's
it. I like.
mineral water.
It's like a Sprite level of carbonation.
Yes,
It
yes.
hurts a little.
Need that, need it.
I like it. I
need
like my
it, all of it.
in here.
Like it, yes.
I unlocked one today above Topo, literally today in
Shut
Nashville.
up.
And I'm
Hey,
gonna put
hey,
you
hey!
guys
Shut
We're,
up, shut
we're working
up,
on
shut
yeah.
up.
Don't say
Shut
any other brands.
up, Colin.
We're pandering here.
we just,
We're trying to
God
pander
damn.
here.
I just
Nothing is
found the
above
clip. I
Topo.
just found the clip to put in the deck.
yeah, don't you bring up no other brands
Yeah, man.
that are above Topo. We don't
Oh,
do that around
I
here.
mean, how much is the bag, huh?
Yeah. Is the bag good enough for us to
What we got
for us to
here?
be this loyal already?
No,
Yeah.
Colin and I used to give buckets of Topo.
I remember.
You remember
Yeah.
that?
They,
Yeah,
they
over
pulled
at
up to my house with cases.
They drop
Uh,
boxes off.
yeah.
Yeah, and
We're
that
very
was-
close.
we're very
we've
close.
been there.
We
We've
have been
there.
very close. Yes.
And now we're back to square one.
I love that. Topo saw the vision. Speaking of which, I love that.
Yeah. Chris, one song to add to the podcast playlist. It can be any song as long as it's on Spotify. This song represents Flow. He wants us to add it. It is blank.
Smart move.
Yeah.
On my phone.
He said, "Let me open the Spotify."
Yeah.
You might have to okay got it that new notification that comes up from Spotify if you guys haven't opened it lately.
Oh,
Huh?
They raised the price.
Oh, they
Oh
did.
yeah, I saw that.
It
I'm
went up
not
$1.
leaving.
By $1.
I'm not going to leave.
Not gonna leave. You're just gonna agree to pay an extra $1. That's all.
Yeah.
Even for what is fam? I don't even know what the rate is anymore.
It goes from $10.99 to $11.99.
Yeah.
And so if it was a family, it went up also probably like.
Yeah, it probably went up $1.
Damn, I got my like.
So this song could be old, new, yours.
The zombies soundtrack is in my fucking thing because my daughter is like in that mode.
The
where she
Zombies,
just
the
wants to-
band.
No, zombies, a Disney movie.
The movie.
Oh,
I got a bunch of like Disney stuff in. my
Hey,
right now.
while you're looking for that, Chris, speaking
Yeah.
of movies, we are developing our DJ Biopic Cinematic Universe. So in our DJ Biopic Cinematic Universe, who is playing Flo? And it could be anybody. It could be anybody.
wait, hold on.
Mhm.
What is
DJ
it?
Biopic Cinematic Universe.
And someone's playing me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody's playing you. So it could be any actor within the entertainment realm, dead or alive. It could be animated too. You can even have a black guy playing you.
Yo,
Yeah, right.
I mean, my wife be clowning, but she says I look like Wario.
Let's
I be
go.
looking mad.
Wario's
go.
gonna play you.
Let's go.
I ain't thinking
Let's
that
go.
off
That's
the top of my
fire.
head.
That's
All
fire.
right, that's
Because
fire.
he's about to have a big year once this new Mario movie comes out.
Big
It's gonna
Wario
be
year.
big.
Big Wario
Big
year is
Wario
coming
year.
out, so
Yes.
probably honestly right on time.
Yeah,
Barbie
right on
who?
time.
Barbie who?
Yeah, he's
Barbie who?
Oppenheimer who?
Barbenheimer who?
It was a
Barbenheimer
Wario.
who? It's a Wario year.
Hey, you know what?
Wario's about to have a big year.
He is, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. These kids are gonna eat up Wario in this new Mario movie when it comes out.
Pause.
Pause.
So the song I'm gonna pick is I guess it's a newer song. It's one of those songs that kind of like threw me off guard, but it was like dope in a dope way.
Mhm.
I know everyone's playing Blast. Blast is the hot shit right now, right?
Love Blast.
But there's a song "Child of God." I don't know if you guys heard
Oh
that.
man, I've been playing the shit out of that song,
Yo,
bro.
this dude Remble, I don't even know. I've never
Bro,
even-
he came out of nowhere.
Yo,
He
when
came
I
out of
played the
nowhere.
song, you were listening to a Blast song, and you're like, okay, it's standard Blast. I could rock with it. He's on the gospel tip,
Yep.
kind of like uplifting,
Yep.
and then in the middle, it slaps you in the face, bro.
Yep. Good call. Good call.
Yo,
I like,
I'm excited
I
to
like
hear
that.
this.
I like
That's one
that.
of them ones I would love to share with like I played it for the homie, and we
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing the shit out of that song, bro.
I'm
It
excited
goes
to
off
hear
in the
this.
club?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Like-
well, it's
like
for
in Dreams
here.
and
Here,
Nightmares?
here it does because it's a very West Coast, Portland.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah,
they'll
yeah.
eat up anything that Blast plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes
No.
sense.
Even
Yeah,
though
out here
I-
we're not playing nothing new.
Yeah.
But Child of God, dude, you guys need to hear that.
Yeah,
song.
that-
I'm excited to
Good
hear
call.
that.
And just enjoy. You'll know what we're talking about when
Yeah.
that second shit hits. Even the way he's rapping, you're just like, whoa, dude. Like, is this dude from the Bay? Is he like a young cat? Like, well, who is this guy?
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited to check that out.
yeah.
I'm about it. Before we kind of wind things down, a topic has been brought to my attention that we need to discuss. Lana Del Rey is on an incredible side quest right now.
Bro, she's been on this little press run, huh? This is a little weird little press run.
Lana Del Rey showed up at Texas Roadhouse the other day, hung out with everyone on staff.
Uh-huh. The day before that, she
The day
was
before that, she was cooking at Waffle House. She was literally working at Waffle House, serving up orders.
When did she shoot a music? She's shooting a music video. She has to be.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she has to be shooting a music video talking about how like simple her life is. Like, would you still want me if I was here? Has to be. Has to be.
Damn, that's pretty good.
I know, right?
Watch that happen.
Just
Yeah.
like bumming vapes off people. Just like
Be out here being very casual.
Very domestic.
yo, like
Look at her. Very domesticated.
Is she working?
She's
At
working at
Waffle
Waffle
House.
House, bro.
She's got a uniform on.
At Waffle House, yeah.
I've
Yo.
never been to a Waffle House.
you would if she was working.
I
I would
wonder
be
if they
very
checked to see if
happy.
her hands are right.
Yeah, you got to scrap
I
before
wonder,
you.
I wonder if she was able to pick
That's
up a
part of the
chair and throw
application
it.
process of a Waffle House. You gotta get jumped in.
Yeah.
Like,
See,
that's-
notice
If she
they
was
have her at
working, I
Waffle
wouldn't
House
even-
when the
I wouldn't
sun's
even
out.
know that was her.
I would be like, damn, this waitress is fire. Like I wouldn't even think.
Right? For real.
Yeah, that is a very pretty white woman. I would never think.
Like
Honestly, if you said Lana Del Rey's name,
You wouldn't have no. Yeah.
I wouldn't even. I don't
If-
even know if I can picture her unless it's that album cover.
Hmm.
I think if we saw her working at Waffle House and saw the name tag that said Lana, you'd be like, "What, Lana Del Rey?" And it's like,
Yeah, I would make
Yeah.
the joy like yeah, Lana Del Rey. Am I right?
yeah, and she's like, "Yeah,
She's like, yeah.
It's like yeah. I'm like,
I love you."
yeah.
yeah. I love you. I love you.
I'm so
I would like to
sorry.
order your hand in marriage.
Security
want
comes
that-
and roughs
you
you
want
up
that
real quick, though.
smothered-
Yeah, I just get beat the hell up. Somebody
Yeah.
throws a fucking plate in my head.
Security was nowhere to be found before that, and as soon as you said that,
I'm getting suplexed through a bucket. Everybody's got their phones out.
Yo, Waffle House has those crazy ass fights too, so that's
I
par
know.
over there.
That's why
man.
they put her in the daylight, man, because as soon as
Oh,
the sun
you
goes
can't
down,
have
working
her
the
at
night shift.
Hey, man, she got to put them hands up, boy. She got to use them hands, man. She been using them voice.
You can't
too long.
get
She
jumped
using
into
them
Waffle
hands,
House. That's
boy.
crazy.
She's
For
not
real.
working no night shift. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah,
It's a liability.
It is a liability. It
Lana,
is.
Lana Del night shift? Come on.
Come on.
They
Hell
needed
no.
it. I wonder if they were shooting light for dark. You know how they do in movies when they shoot outside when it's light outside, and then they just turn down the tent a little bit to make it dark outside. I wonder if they did that for her for this music video.
Real broad daylight hours. Should
It's
I
like-
come back at night? They're like, no.
No,
you
no.
can't.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you
no,
can't.
no.
She's like, I could just do this tonight. No, you can't.
No,
No.
we'll just turn the curtains down. No,
Nah, they
No.
just built a whole entire set. She
just
they-
built a
Yeah.
box
Yeah.
around the Waffle House.
That was actually a set that we were looking at.
yeah, that wasn't no real Waffle House.
Why is it spelled wrong? You're like,
Yeah.
shut up, shut up,
Shut
shut
up.
up.
Shut up. What the hell's a Wapple?
If anyone could pull it off, it's Lana. Taylor Swift could never.
Could never. I wouldn't believe it for a fucking second.
No, but you
No.
saw that she
Like
had Haim on
6'4"
there,
though,
though.
ain't she? She's hella
Yeah.
tall.
Taylor's tall.
Yeah,
Taylor's
Taylor's 6'5",
tall, yeah.
bro.
Taylor's tall. I mean-
6'5" for real?
No.
I was like,
No.
Like, damn,
yeah,
you're
it's just like
balling.
damn near
No,
Michael
she's tall.
Jordan.
Six
She's
foot
tall.
nine.
She's like five-
Tennessee.
She's like 5'9", 5'10".
She's got height.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. T Swift ain't no shorty. No.
No,
Before we
kill it.
wrap it up, last piece to the puzzle. Chris, if there's anything you could share with upcoming DJs, producers, anyone looking to get into the realm, looking to follow in your footsteps after hearing what you talked about, share one nugget of advice for them.
Just keep studying DJs, you know, like if you're a like as in terms of DJs, right? Like just figure out why your favorite DJ likes to do what they do.
Mhm.
Because if you get to that, you know what I'm saying, like then you'll uncover so much more to what like exactly what they're about. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I don't know if
Yeah,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that translates.
yeah.
absolutely does.
No, that's a gem. That's a
Yeah.
gem, man. Because we all have our favorite DJs, and
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Who are
not
your
the
favorite
same as-
DJs? Favorite DJs? What are your favorite DJs? Favorite
Right.
songs?
right,
Right.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And,
And
once
why
you
do
find
they
that,
love
you'll,
those songs? Yeah,
yep, exactly. You'll
Mhm.
find way more than you expected, and you could take that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most you could kind of like. I don't know. That's the most you could get is really just
Mhm.
finding the source.
Absolutely.
Blow, the man.
It's cold,
Thank you
man.
for joining us, sir. Yes.
Thank you guys for having me. I apologize for the slow picks.
Oh no. We gonna edit that up. We gonna clean it up real quick.
Yeah,
man. It's
they
gonna
will
be
never
that
know you
fast.
took
for
so
my
long.
for my whack late night
Your lighting situation.
no my late night fast food pick.
Oh yeah, that was whack. That's fine. Yeah, that's you.
No,
Can,
no, he
you owed us
redeemed it.
apology for that shit.
He can still redeem himself with that Topo sponsorship, but I mean, we
Yeah,
should leave
that's
it that
fine.
amount.
I thought you were talking about the lighting situation. I'm like, man, it's Waffle House. It's daytime. It's nighttime. Be
Daytime,
good.
bro. You have no reason to apologize for that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I built a little shed for all my records inside a Waffle House. My friend Lana Del Rey.
Friend Lana Del Rey is working up front. You can ask her for your menu.
Oh my god.
But yeah, thank you guys for having me. Thank you for rocking with me, helping me when I'm out there. Just kinda,
course.
building with me. It's been dope. So, and I look forward to going up to Portland. Right, that's where you.
Hit me.
Yeah,
Hit me.
you
I'll be here
you
for a
gotta
minute.
hit up there. I've been there a couple times, but never to DJ. I've only been to like the. You guys got like a lot of food truck, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
food truck. What is that called?
Mhm.
Like a
Pods.
Little
The
pod.
Yeah.
food truck pods. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
But seems like a super cool city. I would love to explore.
Man,
up
come up
there,
here, man.
see what
Come up
the-
here. I'll get you really high.
What the scene's like up there. So
Any parties, anything you want to promote before we roll out? Anything on your end outside of the podcast and 45 sessions? Socials? You want to let people know where they can find you on your socials?
At a DJ named Flow, exactly how it's spelled. FLOW at the end. At inventions.dimensions is the podcast. If you want to get nerdy on some jazz shit. And it's good for just chilling. You know what I'm saying? My idea was to make it so that you can just throw it on a Sunday, throw it on in the morning when you're drinking coffee. You know, sometimes you don't want to listen to hip hop and, you know, loud music, right? So it's one of those things, NPR style. I got a residency, or I got my monthly residency at Hello Stranger Bar in Oakland. In Rotation is the name of the party. Every first Saturday, if you're in the Bay. Vans Jam coming up. Vans in the Circle, September 16th. Look out for new breaks. I'm gonna try to cook up some new stuff for that.
Where you drop your music at?
Edits.
Yeah.
I got this. I just dropped randomly. I dropped the I did this Nights Over Egypt flip,
Ooh.
and I put Busta Rhymes acapella on it.
What? Yo,
And,
I need. Where can I find that?
So I threw that up. It's on my bank. I'll send it to you guys though.
Okay.
So I threw that up, and it got a lot of traction, and it even hit Jazzy Jeff.
Oh shit.
Jazzy Jeff was asking me for it. He's, you know what I mean? So it hit the algorithm pretty strong. And so I'm working with King Most.
Shout
and,
out.
we're doing an A side, B side, and I'm putting that Rhymes Over Egypt is the name of the.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah.
fire.
That's gonna come out.
Yo, you should probably put that on wax, to be honest with you.
That
I'm
is
just
what
saying.
we're
So I was
doing.
saying,
So it's
yeah.
gonna be on a 7-inch. So
Okay, good.
A side, B side. King Most got he got a riding high phaso flip on the B, and so look out for that. We're in the process of pressing that up. That should be out in like 2-3 months. So
Hell yeah.
Like this.
Yeah,
dude
you sent me
Flo.
that, John. It's crazy.
This
I
dude
need that.
Flo, he goes, Usher, hang on, Usher.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeff? Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeff, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to name.
Yeah.
Hold
Hang
on,
on.
Jeff.
I said, hold on.
Hang on. Hang on. Usher, you
I'm
don't even
with
have a
Jeff right now.
Usher, you don't even have a date for me yet.
Yeah, I gotta let you
Hold
go, bro.
on.
I got Jeff on the other line.
I got Jeff on the line. Golly.
But yeah, for it to get,
What he said to Usher, he said, hey, just holler at Eddie Mac. Eddie Mac will holler at me.
He said, you don't have to
okay?
call. He said, you don't have to
You don't have to
call.
call.
You don't have to call.
We'll
It's
call
okay.
you.
oh yeah, and I'm gonna be back out there October 18th to whatever 20 whatever that is, and we're
Okay.
doing another Usher run.
Shoot, I'll try to come out there that time, to be honest with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try to make it out there.
October's easy.
Yeah.
Are you wax or all digital or a little both?
I'm all digital, man.
There
All
you go.
digital. Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
bringing no wax to the desert no more.
Yeah. Usher's
Nah,
like,
I
where's
mean,
the
I
wax
might,
guy?
you know,
And he's
like,
like,
I would love-
shit."
Honestly, I would love to get in rotation or do something outside of the Usher thing, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm attached to that right now, but with what you guys got going in that vinyl parlor, things like that, like I'd love to just build and kind of get out there and do different kind of sets out there. So
Shoot, it's enough time, man. Why don't we just all four just get a party going?
Oh yeah.
Got
hey
time.
man,
Just
let
saying.
me know, man.
We got time, man. Well,
I got-
think
I got
we'll end
records.
it. Yeah, you got the records, man. I think we'll end it on that note. We will be back same time, same place next week. So if you're listening to this on Monday, episode will be dropping Monday. Therefore,
Ish.
So ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Ish. Outside of that, gentlemen, any outstanding comments, questions,
nothing.
solutions?
Just peace.
I got nothing.
All right. Adios.
Thank you guys.
Peace.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, man.